Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Welcome to the set. And as always, we're waiting on everybody. Oh, man. It's all good. It's definitely all good. Tonight, we're welcoming a special guest, as always, Mr. Nelson Figueroa. Mr. Figueroa played MLB ball, pause. He was an SNY announcer. But most importantly, you know, he's from our part of town, Brooklyn, New York, Coney Island to be exact. And we're going to have him on tonight to discuss his journey, where he started, where he traveled to, the teams he played with, what he did after ball, and what he's doing presently. Salute, Mr. Tomata Ortiz, my brother. It is good seeing you in the room. I hope you are well. I hope your family is safe. And I'm glad you could join us tonight. So evidently, I have a, you know what? I have a caller that I'm not going to take. I'm not going to take this call right now to be discussing this on the air. So I'm going to have to put you in Dub City. Yo, leave me a voicemail, sir. So I hope everybody's been enjoying the show. We have a lot of great and amazing things coming. As you know, last weekend I announced, and my partner Sally Sasson announced that we're going to be having the big game virtual party. We're going to have an official flyer going out to everybody to see who's who, what's what. And, we're going to have raffles. We're going to have boxes, special appearances. We're going to have a DJ or maybe more than one DJ make an appearance as well. Hopefully that don't cut the stream off. But it's going to be a movie, man. It's really going to be a good time. So I hope everybody could join us. I believe it's February 7th. We're going to probably start about 4 p.m., day of the big game. So I hope everybody could join us. We're going to have a good time. Mr. Daryl Velez Ruff, salute to you, sir. And we have an Anthony Egg Roll Montenegro in the room. Salute, salute. Nelson's not here yet. Oh, man. So, and in the month of January, we're all booked up. We have a lot of great guests, information, Women's Empowerment Day. We're possibly going to have a local politician join us from Sunset Park, somebody who's running for a seat in Sunset Park. So, I hope everybody could join us for that. We have a producer from the Midwest, Denver, Colorado, Mr. Booney Mayfield is going to be coming to the set. We also have a slew of other guests, and I don't want to announce too many of them because then you give it away, you don't get excited. But if you're not following us on Facebook, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, first off, what are you waiting for? And second of all, go do that. Go do that. Follow our event calendar, and you'll see all the guests that we're going to be having come on the show. Like I said, we're going to be having amazing guests and more content. Things are looking good. We're moving, we're shaking, and we're trying to bring the best for everybody that's, coming and watching the show. So, Mr. Anthony Lopez, the OG, my brother, I see you. Good evening. Good evening, man. I'm glad you could join us. A lot of you people, we see a lot of the same people and we see some new people in the room. But, if you're just joining, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook and go to the YouTube channel, man, and subscribe. There you can see all of our past shows up to now. And, you could support the show. It's very important that when your friends strike out on their own or people that you're acquainted with start their own sort of business, that you support them. And here at the set, that's what we're all about. We're all about supporting small businesses and trying to help each other, especially in this moment. So, we appreciate everybody coming out, and we appreciate everybody who helps us out by subscribing and following the show. I'm wondering if my partner, my cohort, is ready to come on. He ain't giving me the thumbs up yet. Oh, there he goes. Let's get my brother in the room. Sasong. What's good,
going
brother?
on? What's going on, brother?
Oof. What a day. What a day.
Yeah, tough.
Yo, it's piling up in the room. Mr. James Morales, good evening. We see you. We have a lot of unfamiliar faces that are coming to the show tonight. This is amazing.
Good.
Yeah, man.
We like them old and new.
Yeah.
Like them newcomers too. Please subscribe to the page. Hit them likes when you go to YouTube. Share. Cost you nothing but time, and we appreciate the love, man. We're working. Hopefully, Nelson will be on shortly, and we got a little surprise. Hopefully after that, and
Yes,
could be a great night.
yes, sir.
Could be a great night, man.
Yeah, we everybody should understand that these people are giving us their time. We're doing the Vlad. We don't pay anybody. This is all based off of friendships, acquaintances, and I know this one and that one. It's we put this show together in that sort of vein. So understand it's very, very organic. First off, and second of all, people still have lives, and for them to give us their time on the show, we truly appreciate it. So.
It's just about positivity and trying to bring back the community and everybody staying together, man. These tough times right now, it's like this COVID thing is like scary. It's like I feel like there's almost like two strands out there, like a regular strand that just sickens people, and then there's like a chemical warfare. It's like people are dying that are like in shape, and it's just crazy the stuff that my sister lost a coworker today, Julie,
Wow.
59 years old at MMC, and it's like this is crazy how people are just falling, but yet we see people protesting, we see people partying, and none of these people got sick. Like
Weird,
like I see
right?
guys at softball tournaments, guys playing football. It's like nobody got sick, or you're just not saying anything. Like, I think that's the wrong approach if you're not saying anything. I think people should, it's not like you have AIDS, God forbid. It's just, it's a virus that you can't, it's not your fault if you catch it. And I think people need to really, spread the word. Like, listen, go get checked, whatever. Like, could be try to single out how does this happen? Like, why is this happening to people?
A lot. It's funny that you say that. I've been speaking to different people along the way, and they all sort of see it in that vein. Like they're like, "But how the fuck?" Like even me. This whole time we've been on lockdown, I haven't been exposed to anything and anybody. God, thank God. But it's weird. Like somebody at the job passed away. Like it grabbed him, and then a week later he was dead. And it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Hold on. I want to say this. Salute to the breeze shooters. They in the room. Thank you for coming out, brothers. We support you. You already know what it is with us.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. We keep it all the way buck with you fellas on this side. So you know what it is. Ms. Deborah Morales, we see you. Our brother, Big Mike Delgado, he's in the room. And man, it feels good to see this. But yeah, it's been very like all these groups of people, like you said, going to parties and playing sports and stuff like that. And it's just weird the way the thing moves, And I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, somebody I spoke with told me that, this was going to evolve into something worse. And now they had their first case out. I think somewhere in the Midwest, they found somebody that had the second strand. And they're trying to isolate that person. And, to me, the way I see things is, these brothers, I'm sorry. These people who are in our government, they had no solid plan. Nobody's on the same page, right? So like, if you remember 9/11, when that happened, they started a plan. Everybody was in unison across the country, and everybody came together.
Mm-hmm.
With this, it's almost like, it was like 2 high schools that were fighting against each other for the same field. And everybody was just, let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. Nobody had a straight and direct plan. Right.
The plan kept changing.
Yeah. And you go from one state to another, it's like, oh, we don't believe in masks. And then the other state is like, yeah, you can't come here unless you're wearing a mask. It was just a mess. And it
Yeah,
continues to
it's
be that
still
way.
like that. Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah.
People don't realize that. You know, they're not, you know, we're not on the same page. Excuse me.
I want to give a shout out to. I mean, I know, they ain't hearing us, and I just had a conversation about this on Facebook about people giving props to people that celebrities or whatever that would never reply to them. But just want to give a shout out to Shaq, Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith. I don't know if you guys heard this, but they finished paying for the funeral for Ecstasy from Houdini. They couldn't afford the funeral services and stuff. So, I heard yesterday that they had stepped up and, took care of the bill. So I want to give them props,
How was that? That's sad to hear. And it kind of sort of goes with something that also happened recently. Lil Wayne sold his catalog, right? Now, I'm saying that to say that musicians who create music, who write rhymes, whatever, the royalty part of the music is what keeps you, through the years. So like if you think about certain musicians like Ray Charles or Prince, they own their own music, right? So no matter what happened, if you played their stuff, they were getting paid. If it was put in a movie, they were getting paid. If you used the riff, they were getting, it didn't matter. So with Houdini and Ecstasy, those guys didn't have like albums, but they had legendary albums, right? They were a part of the foundation of hip hop in the 80s. You think he owned his publishing for his music? I doubt it.
Yeah.
Right. So with that said, I bet somebody whose last name, and I'm not being racist, this is the business, right? Somebody whose name Berg or Cohen or Savlosky or something of that nature owns the publishing to, their music. And I've never heard not one of those last names write a hip hop song ever. None of them people wrote one lick. And it's sad because, again, you have these amazing artists who create and are pivotal moments in cultural history that create this music. And later on in life, they're left with nothing because somebody else owns something that they put together.
That's why they have to get educated and learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah.
Repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So you gotta you gotta see, and that goes in sports, entertainment, anything. You learn from others' mistakes in life, period. Don't make those mistakes over and over.
That's crazy. That's real crazy. But
a lot of get well to I mean, again, hockey, something we'll never talk about here, but Henrik Lundqvist had some heart valve replacement, and the King, he's over there with the Capitals. So again, people that would never probably hear from us, but we wish them the best. And
so I'm looking at the people in the room. Mr. Nori Bell, I see you. Mr. Reggie Smith up all the way up in the corner of the country. He said Lil Wayne's going to jail. That's why he sold. Oh, Mikey chiming in on the publishing side, on the business side. They own most of the publishing on all these cats these days. It's because they take the initial money. Yeah, that advance.
Yeah,
and it's a shame. It's a shame. It really is. That Lil Wayne move, he sold for like 300 million or something, some wild number. And at first, when I read the article, I was like, yeah, why would you do that? Like, you're cheating your kids. That's generational wealth right there, right? But then I was like, I don't want to judge him too harshly because I'm hoping that he has a bigger vision. I'm going to take this 300 million, but I got something waiting in the wings that I'm going to, invest in, and it's going to make me, whatever, 400, 500, 600 million, or get me a Billy position. Yeah, So, man, a lot of bullshit going on. No, we getting into 2 G's or what? What happened? We gonna get this 2,000
$600. $600.
That's crazy, man.
$1.62 a day. You could feed an American.
People, I don't know how y'all feel, but just know that none of this is
free.
It's nothing free, first of all. And second of all, it's political theater. There's no way that these people were not about to put $2,000 in your pocket. It just wasn't. And if you look at the money that they're spending and who they're spending it on, notice the last 2 rounds haven't been on you. So if you think that this is a political fight, it's not. It's political theater. They feeding you shit just to rile you up and make you argue with people that you know and you don't know. It's all bullshit, for real. But look, it said Mikey says if they treated people in the music, if they treated people's music careers the way they treated Bonilla in the MLB, they'd be all right.
Still get paid.
Fucking Bobby B. How many years does he have left? Like 5?
I don't even know. I know it's a long ass contract. A couple of guys got those contracts now like that.
The Knicks had that shit going on too, right? Like LJ was still getting paid, and
maybe I don't know.
There were a few guys like
Knicks are 2-2, bye. 2-2, 500. Top the season right now.
Yo, it's crazy. They're getting off to a good start. They're making a lot of noise. A lot of people.
Just like the direction they're going.
Yeah, but this is how it starts. So you know that every year we start off fresh, and it's like, yo, we move in. All right, we're gonna go to the playoffs.
It feels different this time, only because it's like a culture they're building with these coaches, with this coach and stuff. So,
well, who's coaching them? Who did they pick up to coach?
Tibbs.
Okay.
Tom Thibodeau used to coach the Bulls and Timberwolves. So
okay.
And he was actually. I wasn't too happy with the hire, and then I heard Jeff Van Gundy do a show and interview, and he was talking about Tibbs was on those staffs. And he's like, he bleeds blue and orange. And I was like, okay, I like what he's doing. He don't take no shit. Calls his timeouts if he got to. He teaches.
So he's basically got the cosign 1 and 2. He's built for it, basically.
Yeah, no, he's I mean, he was we always, it wasn't we were like Mark Jackson. We want this guy but they made the right choice, I think.
Okay. Well, it's important that the Knicks get somebody that actually wants to see them thrive and is going to put in the work. Like, Dolan, he needs to go. That guy needs to go, or he needs to sell, right? Because he just doesn't care about the Knicks. He doesn't. That cat.
I mean, they say that though, but the Rangers win. The Rangers are successful, so he owns them too. So I mean,
what does that tell you? By me, he only cares about the Rangers. He doesn't care.
I think he does the same thing. I think he hires people and expects them to do the job. And I mean, he might meddle more with the basketball. The basketball is probably his money maker, so that's probably why he's gets involved with that too much. But but I mean, he's with the Rangers and they win, or they're in the mix. So, and they just rebuilding and they got really good again. So, they, again, who knows? I mean, could be that. I mean, not, he sounds like an idiot, but he's, got a lot of bread.
Yeah, that's most people that got a lot of bread are usually fucking assholes anyway. Miss Linda Michelle, good evening. We need a female topic. Well, listen, if you're gonna follow the show, just know next month, January 13th, right? So
yes,
January 13th is Women's Empowerment Day, so we will be having a women's empowerment segment. So
women's empowerment and entrepreneurs.
Ooh, we that's it.
And we got the politician too, right? Don't we have a woman?
Catherine Walsh, Sunset Park, born and raised. So yeah, we got those things coming. Just follow the show. So yeah, I hope this year we can get some fire back into New York basketball. Like I said, when we did Joey's show, I was like, basketball's part of New York's blood, right? This is the Mecca, so to speak.
Yes.
In a way. So, who knows? People, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my counterpart,
Sally Sasson.
And this is the set. And we're waiting on our guest, Mr. Figueroa, who was sort of in transit. He had a commitment, but he's in transit, and we're just waiting for him to come on. We don't like to leave people sitting in the room, so we're bullshitting. We're just kicking it back and forth. So stick with us. Mr. Figueroa will be here shortly.
He's shining his balls for later.
Fucking bowling.
I mean,
Bowling's fun though. I can't front. I have a good time bowling.
bowling is,
Yeah.
it's all right. a
So
lot of good softball pitches bowl.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the movement?
Yeah, the same motion.
Ah, okay. Look, and Mr. Stone says he bowls too. Mr. Montenegro says that's normal for Nelson when he was a kid. So I guess he's
Bowling?
no the
being late. Oh yeah, no, I heard.
yeah, probably being late is his thing. I don't know. I gotta make a call to somebody at the station and find out what the hell was going on with this cat. Like, is he on CPT? What's going on?
Yeah.
But so what else is going on in your neck of the woods, man?
Not too much, man.
I know that they're having a whole thing now here with transit. You know, they want to raise the toll on the fucking Verrazano both ways. Like
They started the new Omni
rail.
Yeah, they started the new Omni. It's like it's a thing to pay now. So if you don't have I ain't got it.
Yeah.
Like you could put in your card or whatever, but they're gonna be like, I got cash. It's just another, they ain't people, I never got involved with that. They got people for that.
So I live on Staten Island, right? So about 2 months ago, we're driving off the island, going to Brooklyn, and I see the toll collection flash, but it's on the outside. Like if you're going out, there's one there, and I'm like, what the? I said, babe, I told my wife, I said, they're planning to change up the toll. They're gonna start charging everybody in and out,
like it was before.
She's like, you think? And I was like, why they put that up there? For play? No, they're gonna start doing it. And sure enough, the article came out that they want to start. And then the MTA, they asked for like, a couple of billion, and I think they got approved. So Maliatakis or whatever her name is was like, well, if they get this money, they don't need that. They don't need to take away the discount for the residents. There's only two ways: the boat and that.
Yeah. That bridge has been paid for
100 times over. Easy.
Come on, man.
And they keep on digging and digging and digging. But
I mean, renovations or whatever to keep it, maybe something like that. But
dude, they had China steel board over here. They got it on the low. Like you're not really pulling out your pocket, to fix anything on that bridge, and it's ridiculous, to be honest with you, because look where we're at, and you want to announce that now? Come on, man. That's you guys, you got to start realizing that for this country to change drastically, you got to get a lot of old motherfuckers out of office. And I say old because that's what they are. People in their 50s and 70s. And the fresh
50s.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like they've been in for 20 joints.
Yeah.
And you're in your 50s. Like, what are you doing here? You need to your ideas.
They got another 30 years to go. They ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. And I don't understand how people make $174K a year, but you turn around and they're like worth like $10 million. So, if that doesn't make it obvious of what's going on, and you can't, you talk to people sometimes, you just can't change their mind. They're fucking set in their ways. Humans are easily trainable like lab rats. I mean, that's what I believe to a degree. Where's this dude at, man? It's killing me right now. Who else is in the room? Oh, Frank Coco Sr.'s here. The big sister Millie Mills in
comment
the room.
about my hat, Frank.
Yeah. Where's the comment at? Oh, here it goes.
KC.
We're in the Casey. They beat the Mets in 2015. Coco, listen, I know we don't know each other, but you friends with my guy here. The Mets were great in 86, and they haven't been since. The curse of Davey Johnson is real. They're never gonna win another chip. Like as shitty as it sounds, I'd love to.
They got a billionaire, whatever gazillionaire. You know that dude is the Bobby Axelrod from
the Cohen dude?
Billions, the show Billions.
Yeah.
The guy that just bought the Mets.
Yeah,
that's the character.
That's
him.
Mm-hmm. You think he's gonna do good, so?
I mean, he said he was gonna do. He
Does he know baseball? I guess is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, he was a Met fan growing up. No, he's gonna do good. I think he's gonna do all right. I think he's, you know, I don't think he's gonna spend the way the Mets fans think he's gonna go crazy. I think he's just gonna, especially now. There's no gate. Why would you spend?
Yeah.
Why would you spend the money on that?
Well, that's the point of the spend. If there's no gate, you got to bring the gate up. No, so you got to spend some bread. Got to do
but how you recouping that? You spending money. Where's
futures?
Like futures could be.
You're coming in. Damn, that don't even sound right. You're in the hole already when you're coming in. Right?
Still don't sound right.
It still don't sound.
Whoa, wait.
So you're already in a hole when you're stepping in the door. Better, right? So you can't just be like, all right, we're in the red. I'm not spending any money. There's no budget. You have to spend money. That's the only way. You got to spend. So if this cat doesn't put no money up into the team, I mean, I don't know how. Are they stacked? Are they stacked now? No, right? So
the Mets,
yeah.
No, they have a lot of like homegrown guys and stuff. They got a couple guys. They got to get guys though. They got they need a couple more pieces. They have some good pitching, but it's a walk. There's so many ways to make the playoffs. Just got to get in.
Yeah,
that's
all. They got to show. Going clinching your division and then losing in the first round is not a good look. They did that one year. I remember watching that. It was painful. And then going to the big dance and losing. It's like, come on, man. Look at this one. Were the Mets great in '86 or just lucky? I don't know about that, brother. That was a hard-ass team. You're talking about guys who got dirty. Ray Knight.
Periquito Ping Ping was on that team.
The whole squad, right?
Gee.
You had guys that played.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a great group of guys, and that's what brought them together. That rough play, that you slide into third and you tag me a little too hard, like we're fighting. Like that whole squad was built on like
Knight and all them.
Darryl, grit. Yeah, they had great pitching, not great pitching, but they had guys that
they had good pitching. Sid Fernandez was one of the probably most underrated lefties of all time.
Orozco used to look Mexican. What was he? He was like South American. Orozco,
Salvadorian, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah. He had a very indigenous look to him, right?
Yeah.
His face. Mm-hmm. But that was a great team, man. Those guys came together. The kid, Gary Carter,
Dykstra,
Mookie.
They had a good team. They were a lot. Probably a team like as far as like as baseball goes.
Yeah.
They were a team that like my Yankees, 96, those teams. I hate to bring it back. These guys get tight.
Yeah.
But the 86 Mets, I give them their credit. Like and like Mike Will said, they should have won in 88 too.
Yeah, they should have.
But Oakland A's should have won a lot of years too. With Canseco and McGuire and all those teams they had.
It's a shame when you see the team and how much talent. They don't have to necessarily be stacked, but they have the talent and they come together well. They play hard. And then, they throw up a brick and it's like, oh man, you guys, that's a shame. Or you see teams like that beat teams that are stacked, like pitching, hitting, great defense. And then you have a team that's a smaller club. They're not necessarily, heavily talented, but they mesh very well. They have a great leadership. They pick each other up. They get dirty and they come and they beat teams like that. You don't necessarily have to be that deep of a ball club to win. You just have to have to me, I'm not a baseball player. That's how I see it. Like, you just have to come together well and play hard. A lot of guys don't do that nowadays.
Yo, put me in the green room. I'm going to make a call because my phone is off. Let me call him and see how he's, what's going on, the update.
Okay. People, so we're getting Bush League right now. We're getting the Hollywood treatment. I don't know. I hope this gentleman is okay. I don't want to speak ill of him. We spoke last night. Definitely a very down to earth guy. Very cool. So I hope everything's okay with him. But I hope he's not giving us the, I don't think so. I appreciate everybody for standing by. I know this is a little, it's been a half an hour already. Like, yo, where's this guy at? But just bear with us, people. Who knows? Maybe he got a flat. Maybe he forgot his bowling ball and tried to run back. I don't know. But yeah, the Mets, man. I watched that team, and Selly and I watched that series. We celebrated when they won because, of course, it's the Mets, right? New York team. Manuel Torres, good evening, sir. But when they broke that team up, man, they took the heart out of the city to a degree because the Yankees weren't really that great back then. You know, they had talent or whatever, but you know, they weren't doing the things that they did in the 90s. So the Mets really had the New York City buzzing. They were all the rave. And these guys, you know, they would go out and party and go the next day burping up, you know, Budweisers at the plate, and they would make it happen. It was just a great team to watch. So I'm not really a baseball guy. I know I got all the baseball guys in the room. But anyway, if everybody's been following Sunday, if we don't get the Hollywood treatment again, Zab Super Judah is coming to the set. I'm really excited about that one. I can't wait to speak to Mr. Judah and find out where he is now and all the things that he's doing with himself. You know, a lot of guys leave boxing, you know, some go broke, some leave very injured. Mr. Zab, you know, seems like he has his facilities, thank God. And I've been seeing he's making moves online, doing interviews with Mike Tyson recently, which was great to watch. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Happy New Year's, Mr. Cologne. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you should find the time and go see his interview with Mike Tyson. It was really, really great to watch. You know, the generational legends just sitting down and having a conversation. But Zab was an amazing boxer. I beg to say that Zab was the only fighter that should have beaten Floyd Mayweather. He should have. He had the speed. He had the skill set. But unfortunately, you know, everybody who watched that fight and knows when that brawl broke out, that took the momentum away from Zab. And, you know, the rest is history. You know, so I'm just excited to have him on the show. You giving me the thumbs up, buddy.
Yeah, no, he's trying to find a good spot. He's driving still, so he just pulled over. So I left my phone on. So if I tell you to put me in the green room, I'm gonna just run back in case he has a problem. He's good.
He's wiping his eyes. Let's see
cool.
if we can get the thumbs up to bring him in the room.
Yeah, when he's ready.
Yeah, all right. Let me just get this thing real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be welcoming our friend to the show, Brooklyn's own Mr. Nelson Figueroa.
What's good? What's good?
What's going on, Nelson?
Everybody watching the show, you can see our brothers calling us from the bowling alley. I love this guy.
Yeah, I came over here to pick up one of my balls. I had a little accident, fell out of the car. Balls. I had an accident. It rolled out of the car. I hit the concrete. And I had to get it fixed. So I got here, got it fixed. I'm bowling a couple of games, and then it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get on the phone.
Well, listen, we're glad that you could make it. We appreciate your time. As I was telling the audience, you know, guys still have lives. You still have things that you're doing. You know, we appreciate you coming on the show.
All good, brother.
Of course, and of course, being from Brooklyn, as we are, and we love to pay homage to those that come from our part of the city. So we applaud you being part of the 1%, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's a tough walk. So let's start real quick. I don't want to, we want to get this done because we know you have a commitment.
No, we're good. We're good. I'm all yours. I'm all yours.
Selly.
Are the balls nice and shiny? Let's go. Let's rock.
So, Nelson, being from Brooklyn, I understand you're from Coney Island, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Born and raised.
So let's start. We're gonna chip away at this, but I always like to start at the beginning. Okay. How did you get your love and passion for the sport of baseball? Like, where did that come from for you?
That came from my mom and dad, man. Their love for the Mets. They were big Met fans growing up. I never even heard the Yankees uttered in my house. If I did, it was like a curse word. You get a little smack across the mouth for talking about the Yankees. But my dad was a huge Mets fan. And I grew up, in the 70s and got to the 80s and 84, 85, 86. That team started getting better and better and better. They win the World Series, and that was the kind of team that grittiness that's the kind of attitude I always wanted to play with. I was a smaller kid. I always played up a couple of years, 1 or 2 years, and I always wanted to have kind of that same chip on my shoulder, the way that whole lineup did. You had Dykstra, Backman, those guys used to come up there, and if they get their hit, and then they're going to steal a base, they're taking somebody out at second base, they're trying to score, and you know how that team rolled. That team was top to bottom. You had some stars, but at the same time, you had those hard-nosed players, the ones that hustled more than most, and you could tell that they had a passion for the game. That's what I grew up loving.
See, Sally?
It's funny. We just had this chat because guys in the room were talking about this, and we just had this chat about the '86 Mets, and we basically said the same thing. They were just an all-around team. They would take no shit.
Yeah, all know, and no doubt. And then you had a guy like Gary Carter, who was kind of the businessman, of the group, but he was the guy that kind of solidified. He was the glue in that lineup, the guy that you could always count on. He caught every single game. And when you look at that team, even the pitching staff, I mean, their number 5 starter was throwing good innings. And Rick Aguilera was there, and then, hey, you got to go to the bullpen. Hey, no problem. Go to the bullpen. Do what I got to do. You never heard anybody, bitching and moaning. Those guys did everything. If you don't believe me, they did everything. I think, how many games did Kevin Mitchell start at shortstop? Kevin Mitchell started at shortstop. That's mind-blowing because that's a guy that you don't even think about. Played shortstop. Meanwhile, I believe he played over 30 games at shortstop. And that to me was mind-blowing because you had Rafael Santana, Kevin Elster, those guys. But that was the big man right there. You had a whole squad of guys that would do anything to win, and that's what you need.
Next man up. So, Nelson, let me ask you, growing up in Coney Island, O'Dwyer, the PGs over there, right? In CI. A few blocks away, you got the Marburys, Stefan, Norman, and them, right? How do guys, stay away from the street that, some guys stay away, some guys can't. Is it family mostly? Is it, what keeps guys in the street narrow, like you and Steph end up doing?
Well, I mean, it's you want to represent. For me, I was the first kid in my family to graduate from high school and go to college. Growing up, they had jobs. They had, my dad went to a vocational high school. He was an electrician's apprentice at the age of, 16, and then got a job as an electrician, been an electrician ever since. So he learned the trade and continued with that. By the time he was 20, he had his firstborn child, which was me. And then my 2 brothers followed, shortly after that. So he was already a man who went to a vocational school and then had to get a job in the real world to provide. And that's kind of that. What kept me on the straight and narrow was not wanting to disappoint anybody, not wanting to, it's not even about living up to expectations. It's about kind of being, I was the eldest and I wanted to set that example. If I could be the first one to get my foot in the door in any situation, I wanted to do that, show my brothers that those kinds of things were possible. So playing baseball at 12 years old, I got to travel the world. I played on the New York City friendship team. There was 600 kids tried out. They kept 16. And we went to Japan and China for 3 weeks. So realizing that baseball could be that vehicle to take me other places. I had never been outside the city. I had never even slept over anybody's house other than my grandmother. So
tú no vives ahí, tú no vas para ningún sitio, tú quedas aquí.
Exactamente. No. You couldn't borrow nothing from nobody. Remember, my friend let me borrow a toy. Give it back. And you couldn't do that.
By the way, I got cut from that team 11 years old.
Right? My friend got the new He-Man. Give it back. That's how we were raised. I think that was it. It's you wanted to do the right thing. I had were there temptations, of course. Were there good friends of mine who decided, they tried to go the slick route or go the quick route to get money and things like that, of course, and they're still friends and their family, and I love them to death. But I know what I wanted to do for me. I know what I wanted to start. I remember I'm the eldest. I wanted to start something. It wasn't about, being the last in line. It was about being the first in line to do something different, to show my brothers it was bigger and better, and that for them to follow in my footsteps. And that's not easy for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know my brothers. That's not an easy act to follow, because I didn't realize how special what I was doing was until I sit back now and think about how few of us make it to the major leagues.
Absolutely.
Make it out of New York and are able to say, man, I've been all over the globe playing a beautiful game of baseball, getting paid to do it, you know? And so when I think about for my brothers, it was a hard act to follow. And I used to always tell the teachers, because I go to junior high school, I was in Mark Twain. I go back to junior high school and I tell the teachers, look, they're their own person. Don't expect them to be like me. Don't expect them to have the same temperament as me. Don't expect them to, as I push them, but don't expect them to be me. You know, let them be themselves. And that's always hard, because everybody's like, oh, you're not like your brother. You know, do this, do that. Yo, those two kids grew up together with attitudes. Yeah.
He still got an attitude.
Yeah, but that's what we had to do, man. That's one of the things that I think as New Yorkers, as kids from Brooklyn, I always tell kids that I train to have that chip on your shoulder. You know, we had to play in the parade grounds. You know, we used to go out of New York and play against these other teams, and it's nice fields. There's no rocks, there's no glass, there's no hypodermic needles. This ain't big. This ain't a baseball field. We're in the parade grounds, having to clean it up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to play on the field. You know, so I always say, don't take it for granted. You know, and cherish the things that you grew up. And then and now when I go back to the parade grounds and see like the renovations that they did, and I hear somebody say, oh, it's not that good. Not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, how good it is compared to what we had it.
Facts.
According to whose standards are you speaking here? Not that good. Are you kidding me?
No, that's exactly it. That's why for me, you got to remember that these guys.
Oh, we lost them.
Get him, man.
Yeah, we'll get him back. Yo, the same person we spoke to on the phone, same guy. Like,
call him back.
No. I'm saying his personality.
Oh yeah, no,
he spoke briefly yesterday. Fucking straight up, dude.
Yeah, straight up.
Sel, before he comes on, do players nowadays still have that same approach that they had back in the 80s? That staying dirty, that grittiness, that hard-nosed play ball, or is it more about
some guys do? I mean, that's changed throughout sports. I think, you know, like the camaraderie and all that. It's just, you know, it was us against them always. Like even in street football or softball, you know, whatever. Like it was us and them. Now everybody just jumps ship and plays with each other, and it's cool. But you know,
there he goes.
Is the mic sound good and everything? Because
what it is that Frank is using his phone.
Nelson,
the sound. I'm sorry, Frank. Nelson is using his phone, so when he speaks,
how about now?
No, you're good. You gotta get out, because if we go over each other, it'll knock us out.
Cuts out. Yep. Okay.
So I was Nelson. I was just asking Selly, you know, because you made an interesting point about the Mets situation, right, and how players approach the game, how that team is constructed, and their view and commitment to each other. So in your upbringing, you said that you wanted to set the example for your brothers. You were setting the tone, basically, right? And you didn't want to disappoint your pops or your moms. So in your approach to the game, as you're coming up as a child and into your teens, you know, and making those transitions from like the little leagues to, you know, the high school ball, was your approach always the same? And that mindset, did you hold true to it all the way through high school? Like, I'm going to play, I'm going to get down and dirty, I'm going to commit myself because I'm going to try to play and be the best that I can.
Well, you know what was funny is that when I look back at it, I wasn't the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, through the hardest. I wasn't that guy. I was not that guy. You look around, like I grew up around a time where guys in New York are, you know, the big players, Frankie Rodriguez, the Steve Carsays, those guys are throwing 96, 97 miles an hour in high school. That wasn't me. But what I could do is I competed. Every time I got on that mound. It was never you know, I'm the second best pitcher in New York City. Yo, I'm the best pitcher in the world when I'm on that mound. Until you prove me wrong, I'm the best pitcher in the world. That's my mound. That's my day. This is my day to show you what I can do. And that's something that I took with me as I went older, and every level I played on. It was never you know, I remember I got in the minor leagues. I'm a 30th round draft pick. I'm around, you know, a couple of first rounders. You got a fifth rounder. And they're like, you know, who's the best pitcher on this team? They literally asked me that my first year. And I said, I am. And they go, why you say that? I go, look at the numbers. I go, the numbers don't lie. I go, we got drafted. It doesn't matter. I didn't get to pick where I got drafted. I said, but now that we're here and we're all on the same level right now, look at the numbers. Who's the best pitcher on the team? You tell me. And then after that, I realized that didn't even matter, because it didn't matter about the numbers sometimes, because somebody else goes up because maybe they're out of options. They got to see what they can do. There's a whole bunch of things in the business side that you don't understand as a young player. I was always taught, if you put up the numbers, it doesn't matter when you got drafted. It doesn't matter about if you throw 88 or 98, And so that to me was where, look, my attitude of always trying to prove people wrong. Mel Zitter was a guy that I grew up wanting to prove wrong, trying to beat him, week in and week out. I'm playing with Amity and some other teams, and we're trying to beat youth service. And that was an impossible task, bro. They had those guys had major league players. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they hadn't signed yet. You just knew. You could see them, and they were different. It was a different level when you went to play against those guys. So for me, I remember I used to always tell Mel, I don't want to join you guys. I want to beat you guys first, and then I'll join you. And Mel goes, Nelson, you're always going to be a legend in your own mind. And I was like, oh, okay. You'll see. Yeah, and I remember we played against him like a week later, and Manny hit 2 home runs in the same inning off our pitcher. And I'm like, yo, I need to. I was about 16, got to 17, then 18. I played with him my senior year of high school. Played with them until I was 20, and we wound up winning in Johnstown. And we were the first team. So Manny's team didn't win. All the good teams that came through youth service, none of them won Johnstown. It's a national AAA-BA tournament. None of them won, and we had an opportunity to do something special, and we did. And then when we look back now, and there was 9 guys that got drafted off our team. While we were playing, we always felt like the little brothers to those guys. You know what I mean? Those guys were immortals. Those are legends around the parade grounds and around New York in general. Manny wins the Iron Horse Award. He's the best player in all of high school baseball. You got Frankie, who's getting drafted in the first round. You got all these other guys. And we sat back and we're like, it's me, John Rodriguez, Julio Lugo, George Carrion, Jose Nunez, Rob Vaz, Mike Rodriguez. Now all of a sudden we play this AAA-BA tournament and we did our thing. We win. We're the last team from Brooklyn in the last, I believe it's 30 years now, to win the AAA-BA championship. And now we look back and realize that we were actually better than those teams, and it was because I think we played more as a team. They had some tremendous individuals, but we knew we couldn't do it by ourselves. We used to call ourselves Voltron. We're better if we're all together. You know what I mean? The 5 lions separate, they can be beat one by one, but if you put them all together, they're unbeatable. And I think that's what we did, man. We had an opportunity to do some good things, and we did them.
Well, Nelson, I'm gonna jump in here and call timeout because I'm gonna take some credit for you guys winning.
Dale.
Because the year before that, we beat you guys in the 7-game series, and they brought you, Rob Vaz, I think Julio up.
Sally, I don't hear you. You hear me?
You hear me? You hear me?
Hold on, Sally.
He's about to Hollywood you, bro. He's playing you.
Hold on, Sally. I don't hear you. Hold on.
Damn.
Yo, what I told you.
Damn.
I told you, son. He's like, no smoke, bro. You're not doing it.
Wow.
Yo, I gotta get the close up.
Damn. Ouch.
People, if you don't understand what just happened, wait too.
I got all the smoke, Nelson. You ain't going nowhere.
Here he comes.
I'm back.
As I was saying, I got all the smoke for you, kid. Nah,
let's go.
We had a great series with you guys, and going back to your heart, I always tell this about you. I had a good series, not to whatever. I had a good series, and I might have talked a little shit, maybe. And I remember you drilling me, boom, and I was like, this fucker, I was like, but you know what? I respected you. I was like, he got balls. I threw on the elbow pad, and we won in 7 games, and then we went 2-2 in Johnstown, and then you guys won the next year. So I'm like, we did that. We went 2-2. Nah, for real. Y'all had a great team, man. Great team.
Yeah. Listen, those are our rivalries, right? The Bonnie's Youth Service rivalry.
Absolutely.
That's second to none. That's legendary status when you talk about New York baseball. Anybody who felt like, oh, they got by one of the teams, they weren't going to be able to beat both our teams. That was the damn sure. So we always took great pride in trying to be better than each other. And then if we ever had a chance to combine forces,
yeah,
that team was second to none. So there's always been tremendous respect between the two organizations. Jerry and Mel, and you see all the guys that have played along the levels that are back in. Ernie Cruz going back and coaching with them. You got DJ, you got Papo, you got all these guys. Alex, you got all these guys that go back and they want to give back and they want to help the kids, man.
Sure.
I love doing that now. What I do, and I'm training kids, and I get to see them. I was with the Brooklyn Falcons for the last 3 days over at All City Dugout.
Okay.
Used to be Premier Sports, now it's All City Dugout, and we had a clinic over there, and we had about a dozen kids, and they got unbelievable amount of not just reps, but they got a tutelage, they got knowledge, they got better in the short 3 day span. Each one of those kids could say they got a little bit better than when they came there in just 3 days. And that's something that, when we were with service, man, there was a certain way to do things. And, Mel knew a lot, but it was only one Mel. He couldn't be everywhere at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he has taught so many of us, how to be real good, not just ball players, but students of the game. That if we can give back and we can help each other and draw off each other, that's why I always try to stay involved. I always try to, at least show my face at the awards dinners or breakfast, whatever they have that year, and have an opportunity to see the kids that are coming up and give them hope and say, hey, look, again, they named an award after me, which was crazy. It was one of those tear-jerking moments where I'm there and Mel starts talking about this new award that they made, and it was basically a Heart and Hustle Award. Because I was always taught, my college coach was phenomenal. First thing he says is, I can't teach talent. He goes, but I can teach hustle, and you will learn how to hustle on and off the field, and you will carry yourself like a professional. I don't care if it's a Division III school. No one will be watching us and say, that's why they're a Division III school. I can guarantee that. And I always took that to heart. And so I do that with these kids. I tell them all the time, even if you
might max out at high school level, who knows? But who knows that I was a kid that I had that major league dream, but didn't know what it took to make it a reality. Now you can even look it up and see that only 5% of the guys that get drafted make it. I can. So it's almost impossible.
I hear you. Yeah, but something just bumped off. I don't know why. I hear you very low now.
Yeah.
Sully's sound just went way up. I don't know why.
Sully went way up. Sully, what you got calling me right now, Sully?
For real. Like I hear you better now.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything over here.
Something just bumped up.
I'm gonna go back in and out real quick. I'll go back in and out real quick. I'll come right back.
Uh-oh.
Let's put this on.
If you have apps, you should close those apps. Yeah, that was like in a thing. Your volume just went.
Yeah, and I didn't move at all. I know his went down, and I was like,
yeah, his dropped off a little bit. I don't know if he has any apps open. All right. Why is it, Mr. Merrill Davis? Good evening. Why is baseball not as prevalent in the city as basketball? What is the MLB doing to reach out to kids in the city? It was once RBI, but now nothing. Well, it's called city funding, brother.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, now we're good. Hopefully it stays on now.
So now to the point.
Yeah.
I know you were saying you were speaking about the award.
Mm-hmm.
How important it sounds to me, as if you have a solid grasp and understanding the importance of reaching back, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially now for kids, like pre-COVID. It's really important because the funding and people are not really getting behind sports, and even in high school, a lot of schools are losing their funding as well.
Yeah, sports are dying.
And for me, that's a shame because these kids, like where we grow up, a lot of us don't have opportunities due to that very fact, right? Not all of us are privileged in a way that we can say, my dad and my mom stayed together, and my dad had a great job, and I was able to do X, Y, and Z. Right. So is this something that you're going to be continuing, till you retire or whatever, and making sure that you reach back and plant these seeds and give these kids these moments?
Yeah, to the day I die, man. To the day I die, because I know growing up, all I wanted to do was be a baseball player, right? And I got to live that dream. Now the reality is that profession, that is a very short profession. That's a short shelf life, right? Once you're done with that, now who am I? Who am I? I'm a guy who made the most of every opportunity. And now I want to show other people how to do that. I tell kids all the time to use sports as a vehicle to get their education, get a scholarship. You don't have to go to a D1 college to play professional baseball. It's not going to have to happen that way anymore, because with the scouting that they could do now, man, I tell kids, if you can promote yourself on Instagram, YouTube, you have your own channel with videos, with highlights, with you know, you got your radar gun readings, you got the Rapsodo, all the spin rates, the numbers. You're making it easy for a scout. A scout could be sitting at home just flipping through Instagram. Oh, look at this kid. He throws 91, you know, with a good spin rate on this. Maybe he brings you in for a tryout. That could be the one big break that you have that you would never get, you know, 20 years ago. So I'm on top of these kids about using this social media in a smarter way than just, you know, messing around and watching cat videos and everything else. You want to be able to use your talent to take you places. You know, one of my coaches, I used to remember, he said, there's nothing worse than living with regret. There's nothing worse than being that guy at the end of the bar. I could have been, you know, I should have been, I was this. You don't want to ever be that guy, you know? And so I always push people to say, leave no regrets. Say you gave it everything you had, and maybe it doesn't work out, but you give it everything you had. Because I know for me, the game of baseball taught my teammates about life, about dealing with failure, about persevering, about being a good teammate, brother, husband, father, all those things. Because you want to have success on the field, that's great, but you need to have success off the field as well to have that balance in your life. Because that support system, when you don't have a good day, there's nothing better than going home to that support system, picking up your daughter or giving her a kiss and says, "Daddy, I still love you." You know, so that to me was where I look at these kids, and just to see the twinkle in their eye. There was a couple of kids when I'm just doing this last clinic came up to me, and I'm starting to talk to them about baseball and about playing in the major leagues, and they're like, "You played baseball?" And I'm like, I forget I'm that old now, you know.
Google me, baby.
Oh, I told the kid, I said, "You got the googly? Use the googly and look up." And the kid goes like this. He goes, "My parents have my screen timed out for 1 minute usage only." I was like, "Oh, okay." So that's the beauty of Google, and you know, I took my love of the game to the next level afterwards, right? So there was that professional career, but there's opportunities in baseball like never before. You know, they need guys who understand the game. Maybe you weren't as talented as others, but if you understand the game, you have the mind for the game, man, you can go into the front office. You can go into, you know, helping with a local team and then getting bigger and bigger. Look at Kim Ning. Kim Ning was, you know, she's assistant general manager of the Yankees for years and the Dodgers. Now she's a general manager in the major leagues. Broke major ground. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Broke major ground. So now she's with the Marlins. So it's not even just for boys anymore. You know, like the girls that play softball and love the game. Jessica Mendoza, tremendous example for little girls. She's doing baseball analysis work, color commentary at the highest level for ESPN, right next to A-Rod. You know, so that tells you that the game itself is trying to broaden out and really widen its range. And I think that's something that the analytic departments, if you're smart with math, all those nerds that couldn't play baseball, they're getting jobs with teams. So now that nerd goes around and says, "Oh, you know, I work for the New York Yankees now." And now you're sitting back on, "You do, but you ain't never played." It doesn't matter anymore. You know, if you can understand analytics, if you can understand just the business side of things, it's a tremendous opportunities. And the game of baseball is still, to me, the best sport going. I love being on the inside of it, having myself being an analyst with SNY. Mm-hmm. That was so much fun just to have an opportunity to do that. I got paid to talk about the team. I mean, what gets better than that?
Nelson, I want to ask a question. I want to take it back for a few. You brought up spin rate, right? Yep. So you grew up in the, you know, you played in the steroid era, right? Mm-hmm. So was spin rate a big thing when you pitched? Like, do you wish you knew it, you know, about it back then, or did you?
I was such an analytical mind back then that I would overthink it. I would think if I'm spinning my curveball to 2,800 RPMs or 2,700 RPMs, yo, execute a pitch, make a pitch. What I got to do, make sure the pitch is, if I'm going down and away, it has to end up down and away. It was always to me about executing the pitches. And can you sit there? You can get enamored with that, right? Just like bowling right now. They have the radar gun on the bowling lane. I'm trying to see how hard I can throw the ball. That doesn't mean I'm throwing a good ball. You know what I'm saying? So those little things, like even when we first started getting radar guns at the ballparks, I used to hate that, because to me, that's telling the hitter, that's giving the hitter a little bit of an advantage now. Because for me, I was a visual velocity guy. You looked at me and you saw this skinny guy who threw hard. I hit the ball well, and so it looked like I was throwing harder than I actually was, because the ball would sneak up on you. So if I'm throwing 88, but I'm 135 pounds, it seems like it's a lot harder. So I used to have people all the time be like, man, don't you throw like 94, 95? I've never thrown 94. I've thrown 94 pitches in a game, but I've never thrown 94 miles an hour. So when they started putting the radar gun, that was one thing. Then I remember I was with the Pirates and they started doing the slope, which was on the x-axis, it went 15 inches. On the y-axis, it went 10 inches. So now you know the break of my slider. That's giving you an idea of how my slider breaks. So that to me is where you can get too analytical. It's great for off-season training, pitch design, but in-game, that's got to go out the window. You got your bullpen session during the week? Sure. Bring out the pitch effects, the TrackMan, get all that stuff dialed in. And if you're trying to learn how to throw a pitch, it works great with kids to show them the difference between throwing a changeup and just guiding a changeup, because you want to have that spin rate be almost as fast as the fastball. And they're like, but how come it comes out slower? I go, you're spinning the ball in space with a looser grip. That's what makes it look like it's spinning as fast as your fastball, but it doesn't make it, because it dies out just at the end. So it's a good tool, but it's not the tool that breeds success. There's guys that don't understand it. The guys that Jacob deGrom's fastball isn't upper echelon when it comes to spin rate. But you're going to tell me his 98-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone it's almost unhittable.
Yeah, it's like untouchable.
Right? It explodes, but it's still not one of the highest spin rates. Seth Lugo's a guy, right? Hardest spin rate curveball in all of baseball. But they were dando palo on it. They were cracking it the first year because he was throwing it the same way every time. It was 12-6, but 12-6. Above the zone, in the zone, whack. Above the zone, in the zone, whack. Then he got smarter, started bouncing him, started slowing up the speed. Good, more spin, less speed, and now you're changing speeds with it. That's a tremendous asset to have when you can understand the analytics and then execute the pitch to perfection.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my counterpart, Mr. Celi Sasson, and tonight we're welcoming Mr. Nelson Figueroa, who is breaking down the most boringest part of fucking baseball that I care to hear about. But I think, and I thank him for doing so, because I think nowadays, and Celi, I'm sure you'll probably agree, people think that analytics is the wave of the future, and it doesn't. Analytics are important, as Nelson said, they're very important, but you can't. There's a lot of other items that go into the game that you can't account for when it comes to analytics. You know, the crowd, or how a guy's feeling, how the team is meshing, and all these other items that come into play, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't, and analytics just started like coming into the game like over the last like 15 years, maybe, like heavily, right?
Yeah.
So
it was.
I'm sorry.
Moneyball. No,
right.
we're talking about Moneyball, right? So
right.
Moneyball. Listen, Moneyball wasn't what helped that team win. Right. Let's be real. What era did they play in? The steroid era.
You can't account, like you said. You can't account.
You had a bunch of guys who didn't have names that all of a sudden were hitting home runs. Oh yeah, it was analytics. No, it wasn't. It was not analytics that did that. It was analytics to say, okay, well, this guy is a good contact hitter. Those are good for maybe filling out a roster. You try to look at the weaknesses that you have in your team. What do you need? You need a guy who can get on base. You need a guy who can steal a base. You need a guy who can make contact. You know, a hit and run type guy. You know, but that part of the game. Why are you even looking for that if you never do it during the game? It's changed. There's no more stealing bases. There's no more sacrifice bunts. Right. The shift has changed the game more than analytics have, because you got guys shifting and they're hitting into the shift and their averages are dropping 100 points. That and launch angle swings. Launch angle swings for major leaguers who are big and strong. Hey, go get them. You want to strike out 200 times but hit 40 home runs? That's your game, all right? But for a little league player or a high school player, if you can only hit the ball 200 feet, it's still going 200 feet. but in the air, it has a chance to get caught every single time because it ain't 400 feet. Yeah. So teaching those young kids the launch angle swing and trying to give major league analytics to a 10-year-old, that's not going to equate. I need that 10-year-old to put the barrel on the ball, and it's not about exit velocity. I had a kid today ask me, what was my exit velo on that ground ball I hit? And I looked at him. I go, 6'3". That was what your exit velo was. It was a ground ball to shortstop.
Ground ball to short.
I said, so don't even come at me with those exit velo and everything else. A hard hit ball, still a hard hit ball. Making solid contact, I take that every day of the week. And just knowing how to play the game. I just think there's a lot of young players who come right up and they don't even know how to get out of the way of a fastball in anymore because they use all the equipment. They got all the guard, the elbow guard, and everything else. They don't even know how to get out of the way of the ball. For Acuna, that guy almost gets drilled on a daily basis, but he doesn't know how to spin away from a ball because he's just diving in. That's how he's going to get hurt, and he's going to break a hand, and they're going to blame the pitcher for pitching inside when meanwhile the ball's not even off the plate.
Nelson, I want to go back a little bit because
I lose you again.
No,
did you lose it? You don't hear us? Yeah, I think that signal in that room, man. Yeah, we'll come back in. I was gonna just ask him about Puerto Rico. I don't know if you were gonna.
Let's ask him about the Mets and PR. We ask him that, and then we'll talk. You know.
All right, Can you ask him about the Mets? I'm gonna ask the PR question.
Sure.
All right, cool. I was waiting on that when I'm like, yo, I want to ask him about playing for Puerto Rico bad, man. But I hate being around you guys. Because you guys I said I hate being around you guys because you start talking this baseball shit. And listen, I enjoy it because I learned something.
It's it's honestly, it's the way the game is now. It's hard to watch. You know,
it is. It's not enjoyable. I don't like watching it. I mean, back when the Yankees was in the 90s and in the 80s bowl, like those two eras, I could actually sit down and watch a game. Like every time I came upstairs to the third floor, you had a game on. And I could watch it. I could be like, all right, cool. We talking shit, whatever. I could watch the game. It doesn't bother me. Now, nah. I could hardly watch the playoffs. It's just different. It's not, you don't see many guys with their uniforms dirty. Right? I mean, for me.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
It's just a different era now.
Definitely. Yeah, I love it too, bro. You already know what it is. But this guy's, he reminds me of like a conversation you guys used to have like on the stoop. Maybe you, Ariel, probably Jeff, Rob, all the baseball dudes from the block. And you guys will be talking about baseball. And I'm like, the fuck are they talking about? I have like no idea what's going on here. But he knows a lot.
No, definitely.
He knows a lot. I hope everybody's enjoying the show. Nelson's he's a really good guy. And I could really appreciate the fact that he's making sure that he gives back to the kids. Super, super important. And his approach to it is needed. That organic approach, that real approach of trying to put fun in front of the kids before they start to take on the other aspects of the game. It's cool to know the analytics and this and that and whatever. But first, let's have some fun, right? I think that's the most important part when you're playing a sport. If you're not having fun, like you should be playing. All right, you're up on the Mets questions. Yo,
Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong, right?
You gotta stand and shit like.
Oh. Yo, did he pass out? Did he faint? Yo, Nelson. Yo, I hope this dude's okay, bro. What happened?
Did he step on something?
I don't know.
Talk him in the queue.
Hold on a second.
He got ran over by a bowling ball.
Yo, I hope he's all right, bro. The phone is face up. Oh, man.
He had a ball. It was his turn, probably.
Oh, it was his turn. Oh, he put his down.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Got a ball.
All right. You could hit him with the mess question as soon as he comes in so that he can get it. And until his next turn or whatever. Yeah, man, you got to have fun first, man. If you're not having fun, like, all right, hit us again with the Dub City. If you're not having fun, don't play. That's it.
Yeah, man.
And
thank you guys. Thank you everybody in the chat, man. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Hit them likes for your boys. You know, thank you all for joining us, man. You know,
we appreciate
some white police. They're coming real soon. Jesus. You know, they you know, we want to thank you guys for the support, man. Like I said, your support is free. If you could share the page, you know, we got a lot of stuff lined up coming up for the new year and to end the year. You know, we're ending the year right with Nelson, and we got Rob Phelps coming Saturday. We got Zab Judah Sunday. We got Speedy Wepa coming the 6th.
I forgot about Rob Phelps Saturday.
Yeah, Rob Phelps Saturday, guys.
Yo, you have to come for that one. Another one, Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Brooklyn. If you still love Brooklyn the way that we do, man, you got to come check the show out, man. Rob Phelps is going to put on a movie. You know what I mean? I'm going to really enjoy talking to that cat.
Yeah, man.
There he goes, the Wepa, my guy.
Yeah.
Rob Phelps, you know, if you love dudes that used to play ball back in the days and talk wild shit and still play a good game and be like, yo, good game afterwards, like Rob Phelps is that kind of dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
shout out to my guy Joey Brower.
Yeah, Magic Man, we see you, brother. You definitely want to come check out Rob Phelps on that. Real solid dude.
Coco, sorry, Coco. We're working on a softball show. Talk to Jerry. We're working on a softball show. Probably like February, March. For you know, right before the seasons open up, and you know, we're working on, you know, overt racism guys faced and keeping guys off the streets. You know, a lot of guys that could have been pro that end up going a different route through softball, you know, the legendary softball and the state of it now. So we're working on some things.
Oh, you just pulled a King of New York. I want in. Yo, what was I going to tell you just now? I didn't know we was doing a softball show. I mean, that was inevitable, right?
Yeah.
I think it's part of our upbringing to be to a small degree. Remember we used to watch the games in 314?
The softball, the rough touch football growing up, like, you know.
I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking about doing a show about that time. The rough touch football. And try to reach out to a few guys and just kind of
do it combined, maybe the same day. You know, we got guys that played both.
Yeah,
bring them both eras. You know,
yeah, that was a good time.
We got to get the ladies involved, though. Like they said, right? We need a ladies program, so we got a couple of ladies shows lined up.
We got a couple of ladies shows lined up already. So,
and we got the virtual Super Bowl party, guys. In case you didn't know,
yeah,
we're gonna be raffling some stuff for the ladies that day. Yes, we got DJs coming through.
February 7th, right? So
yeah, Sunday, February 7th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're gonna have virtual Super Bowl party.
Let's
bring your own beers and shit because we ain't, you know,
we
can't hook you up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a movie, man. Just come check us out. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have special guest appearances from past shows, people that you may, you know, want to retouch base with. But overall, it's gonna be a great time. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and again, we're gonna have boxes. We're gonna have a makeup raffle for the ladies, and you know, we're just gonna have a good time on that day, as everybody should, you know, be doing or like to do. So, I guess my man's throwing gutter balls right now. He caught the spare, so he's not. Bee shooters, yeah, one for the books. This guy's bowling and fucking dropping his phone. You don't have to look at this, Jesus. You don't have to wear a mask, brother.
No mask.
Wear a mask. Unless you ain't brush your teeth or something, you got shit breath. You ain't wear no mask. You're good. We won't hold that against you. Oh, where did my screen go? There we go. So, Rob Phelps, man, I'm very excited to talk to that brother. He's another one that, you know, you know where he's from just by speaking to him. And I think that's going to be a great one for real. And big show Sunday.
Yeah.
Gonna make it happen. People, just bear with us. As you know, Nelson is bowling. I don't know, maybe he broke his phone. Let me turn this ticker off. You know, just bear with us until he pops back into the room. as you know, people still have lives and commitments. So
I didn't even see what happened. Did his phone fall or just?
he was talking, and it looked like, I don't know, like he got bumped on the head or something. I don't know. He just dropped the phone. So, what was I going to tell? I was just looking at the calendar, and I wanted to ask you something. There was somebody missing. Yeah, there's a day. Today's the 30th, right?
December 30th. Yep.
Yeah. All right. I know what I did wrong. Ooh. So
We
January
got
January 6th, Wednesday. Oh, he's back in the room. Here he goes. Oh, he got a mask on. Look at this guy. Ninja Man.
I had to run to the car, get the iPad.
All right. We thought you threw a gutter ball or something, or you got hit with a. So Nelson, you were a big Met fan, right? Your dad was a Met fan. So walk us through that? Your first game, City Field, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was that the biggest moment for you as far as
I got to pitch at Shea Stadium the first time.
Okay, Shea.
Against the Mets, facing Piazza, Alfonso, all those guys. That was a thrill in itself. That was the first time I had pitched in the major leagues at Shea Stadium, and I did it in a Phillies uniform, and I had to give out 120 tickets. And what was cool about that moment was that Scott Rowland told everybody, "Hey, the tickets that you get for free, you're donating it to Figgy tonight because he needs tickets." He goes, "How many do you need?" I go, 120. He goes, 120? He goes, "I need 120 people." I said, "Are you kidding me? Half of Brooklyn is going to be here."
Yeah.
So they were able to get me 80 of the 120 that I needed. The other 20, the Mets did a great deal with me. I was able to buy field level seats for like $10 for the game, so they hooked me up. And I got all my friends and family there. And then after that, I told them, "Listen, it's going to be cheaper if I get you the MLB package than if I keep buying tickets for you guys." So in 2008 and 2009, when I came to play for the Mets, remember, we went from Shea Stadium to Citi Field. And Citi Field, the tickets for the family section were like $200. I'm like, "Yeah, for $129.99, I can get you can watch me everywhere in the major leagues all season long. Let's do that one instead."
Okay.
So, I can imagine that making your way onto that team and the connection that you felt as a child and a young man was super special. But something that myself and Sully were talking about in the lead up to us sitting down was playing for Puerto Rico. And when I saw that, I'm sure you've never watched the show up to now, but I always try to stress the point that I'm super proud of my heritage. And I think it's very important for our people to always look at our history and always remember and hold on to it and teach it to our children. So what was I have to ask you, because this is the way I feel, con el orgullo that I have for my people and my island. What was that like for you? Did you sort of feel that same sort of pride when you played for Puerto Rico's team?
And was the World Baseball Classic, Nelson, also on top of that? The World Baseball Classic, describe that compared to MLB, like that atmosphere.
Oh, you're talking about playoff, not just playoff atmosphere. This is playoff with bigger implications. This is playoff with pride, right? This is playoff with you're playing for your country, representing your heritage. This isn't just playing for some team that signed you. You are Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? You may have played for the Mets, but you're not always going to be a Met. Like I played for 6 other teams, or 5 other teams at the major league level, so I can say I was once a Pirate, but I'm not always a Pirate. When you're Puerto Rican, you're Puerto Rican through and through. So doing good or doing bad, it stays with you. Okay, so there was an extra level of pressure being there. For me, I wasn't good enough to play in the Puerto Rican Winter Leagues. I never got invited because being that I was born in the States, I had to go as an import player. That's what they told me. You're not good enough as an import player. I was a major league player to play in the Puerto Rican League. Back when, in the early 2000s and 90s, that Puerto Rican League was the best baseball in the world. So for me, having an opportunity to put that jersey on
It wasn't something I could say no to, but I didn't understand the level of orgullo. Like you say, I didn't understand the level until we started out playing in Puerto Rico. And we turned that Olympic Stadium upside down with the way that we played, the passion that we played with. I'm looking at that line, but I still, you get chilled because the names of that line, Beltran, Nogales, Pudge Rodriguez, Yachty's the backup. You got Yachty Molina being the backup catcher to somebody. Looking out at Bernie Williams, looking out at these players who are legendary coming from the island. And here I am having a chance to be alongside them. And again, chip on my shoulder, I want to prove that I belong. And a little bit further than that, I wanted to prove that I wasn't that, the Americano guy that couldn't play, was good enough as an import player. And I was able to piece myself in there and kind of be that bridge as a long reliever. Javi was starting, Javi Vasquez was starting, and we had some good starters. And then all of a sudden, they needed me to pitch a long relief, and I was going to get a chance to start. And, hey, whatever you need me to do. I went back to, when I was a kid. You need me to start, relieve, close, whatever it may be. I'm ready to do it. And so having a chance to have that name on your jersey in the front. You always say that, I played for the name, on the front, the name on the back. To me, it was having my name on the back alongside those other names. Somebody actually drew a picture of that, like everybody standing there for the national anthem at the Olympic Stadium, and we're all standing there, and it has all those names in the back. And that is one of my most favorite possessions that I have to be able to say that I was alongside those guys. And that was the 09 team. Then you got the 13 team, and I got to play a bigger role in that one. Now I'm a veterano, everybody knows who I am now. I got a chance to go and be a bigger piece. And I remember starting for them and facing the lineups that I faced between Venezuela and Team USA. And Miami, that Barnes Stadium had never been so loud. Never. People didn't even know what Team Puerto Rico was about. They left that stadium partying with everybody on the concourse, and they were singing and dancing. We took over Miami. It was but one night. They'll never forget how the Puerto Ricans played with passion and knocked out Team USA, and then were able to move on to the finals. That was getting a silver medal for my proudest possessions, my proudest accomplishments. I have 9 championships all over the world. But that silver medal, again, it has that Puerto Rico logo on it, and to have it next to that jersey, those are 2 of the most special things to me to have and represent me. Being that it was later on in my career. It wasn't when I first started, but it was, while I was at the tail end of my career, when I was still able to show people that I could perform on that big of a stage against that level of competition. And I think my favorite picture is me running around with a flag, running around the field with a flag, because I was so proud of my heritage and being able to do that in front of my grandmother. And take the pictures with the family afterwards is just amazing.
It was always treated like an exhibition, but not for the players and not for us, because I always said they should eliminate All-Star break, take 2 weeks, and do this every year or whatever, because it was insane, those World Baseball Classics between all those teams.
Yeah, we started. I mean, we used to start. Our pool was Venezuela, Dominican, Puerto Rico, and the Netherlands, which was Curacao, which they were one of the top teams as well. They were sneaky because they had so many good players that you didn't really. They weren't. It was like Tampa Bay Rays of baseball. Where you didn't know the names, but they get on the field. Those boys can play.
I think Didi Gregorius was on that, right?
Didi Gregorius, and he danced in the first year was a catcher. Then he turned into a pitcher and became one of the best coaches in the game. So you look at the opportunity that you get for even a kid from Curacao who gets a chance to play. He might sign a bigger contract because of the way he plays in those 2 weeks. That's where I look at it. It's an exhibition. My team might not have room for me. I was with the Mets at the time. Hey, I might be the 26th man on the Mets. But somebody might say, did you see what he did in the WBC against Team USA? Let's give that kid a shot. We could use a kid like that. Maybe I end up in Cleveland, but I had a chance to be in the big leagues. So there's always something that I carry around, a chip on my shoulder, and want to prove. And that was no different. Just I'm telling you, being in the locker room, you're looking around, and you see those guys, and like, am I really here? Like, am I really part of this whole thing? And then to see what they did in the following team, where you had Javi Baez and Lord, man, that team just gets better. But just to think how good it could be, Arenado's half Puerto Rican, Stanley was half Puerto Rican. Those guys should have came over and played. Stroman's half Puerto Rican. So those three guys alone would have turned the tide for us to be able to go out and beat the Dominican Republic. And that's something that we so strive to do.
Figs.
So Nelson,
I'm sorry. Now, like, I have to ask this question listening to your answer regarding that league. What do you think? You can make this as brief as possible as you want. What do you think? How do you think these teams would fare if they created a lineup of teams to play against MLB rosters? Like, we're going to create a division of world teams, from Puerto Rico, from DR, from Cuba, whatever, and put them up against, let's play a full season against MLB teams and talent. How do you think they would fare?
I think they would actually fare very well. It's crazy to think, and I always said this about baseball. Baseball is one of those sports that, depending on the starting pitcher, on any given night, any team can beat any other team.
Right.
Any team can beat any other team. It's beating them again and again and again and again and again, right? That's what it comes down to. Like, you might have one pitcher who could beat the Yankees, but you don't have five pitchers that could beat the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is where the opportunity to play and the opportunity to learn your opponent, the opportunity to exploit weaknesses. No one player is perfect. Everybody has a weakness. Every pitcher fares well maybe against the bigger players and doesn't do well against the littler players, the little slap hitters and things like that. So I think those teams, if there's also that passion for 2 weeks, you can go with that. That you're putting everything out there. You're playing playoff level, Johnstown, 2-win barbecue kind of thing, So that's it. It's do or die. It's game 7 every night. So that's a little different, right? So you feel like you can give your all to that. Being able to do that for a 162, that's tough. It is tough, but I still think that the difference between a minor league player and the difference between a major league player is opportunity, right? If you get a chance as a professional to play, I'm only going to be an A-ball player if you never let me get a chance to play above A-ball. I have no other way to prove it. So there are guys that they've gone from A-ball straight to the league, and they get an opportunity to prove it. Now, can they stick and stay and make a career of it? You have to wait and see. For someone like me, it was kind of climbing along the way and saying, okay, A-ball, did that. AA, did that. Had to do it a second time, did that. Got to AAA, I had 2 years in AAA. I'm like, okay, what else do I need to prove? Put me in the league. Oh, no, we want you to get 500 innings so you can experience everything. And I'm so appreciative that they did it that way, because when I got to the big leagues, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised by anything that happened. I didn't get flustered when there was an error with a runner on, first and second, 1 out, I get a ground ball for a double play and they make an error. It's happened before. I'm good. I've had that happen. You look at players now, and they're so young, they come up, they haven't experienced all there is to experience. They've experienced a lot of success. High school, if they went to college, they're probably one of the best pitchers in college. They come into the pro ball with a $2 million signing bonus. They dominate. They're getting moved up no matter what because of the $2 million. Then they get to the big leagues, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I've never failed before. Now I'm failing. What do I do? How do I get out of this funk? And a lot of those players, Steven Matz is the guy who comes to mind. Well, that's the kind of player that he is. He can be great, or he can be awful. And there's no telling from game to game which Steven Matz you're going to get, and that's a shame because this guy's going into his fifth year of being in the major leagues, and you're still wondering, can he be a successful major league pitcher?
Wow.
Nelson, I know you got to go. This is my last question. We're going to let you run out of here. I mean this as in the utmost respect. I feel like yourself and like Paulie Malignaggi, as far as like you weren't probably the greatest at your craft as baseball players, in your as your peers, you probably weren't the greatest. But I feel as analysts, you and Paulie, as far as like, breaking down the game and stuff like that, are probably top in the sports.
I appreciate that.
How do you feel like what happened with the SNY thing? And I know the malicious lie, stuff about, all the rumors, whatever. I know you forever, your family forever. You know, can we talk about that?
Of course, absolutely, and I've never hid from that. Here's the thing, right? When someone publishes a story about you without A, getting your side, B, just listing it as a source said this, but if you go read that article again and remember what the source said in the headline, the source in the middle of the story said, I couldn't tell if he was if something was wrong with him, whether he was drinking or if he was just emotional. Literally, the source says the same thing, but you went with the headline saying that I was. Why did you say I was fired and I was emotional because I was fired? I was at a point in my career where I had an opportunity to do something. Remember, there's only one analyst on SNY. SNY is, when I was there, we were the best regional sports network in the country. And all we really had that you would really want to watch was the Mets and the pre and post game show. It wasn't about the Jets. It wasn't about UConn basketball. Well, actually, it was about UConn basketball because those girls don't lose. But when it came to the Mets, when I got a chance to take that role, and you got to remember, I was the first person who wasn't on that 86 team to be with SNY. So you're going from all 86 Mets to all of a sudden, hey, it's Nelson Figueroa, a journeyman who, you know, has more losses than wins at the major league level. Immediately, Jerry Seinfeld booed me. He was mad that I took over for Bobby Ojeda. And I had reached out and put it, my first Twitter post is me talking to Jerry Seinfeld saying, you're making me feel like an 87 Met over here. Give me a chance, you know? So I had a chance to do something that, remember, there's one analyst, there's a lot of ex-Mets, there's a lot of ball players. And they put me in this role, having no experience in television. And it was like, hey, go. Struggled a little bit in the first year, got better towards the end. And then after that, I just felt like I got better and better at honing my craft, at doing the work, putting in the work, knowing what work to put in. Just like everything else, people think, you know, the pre-post game show is at 6 o'clock. They think I get there at 5 o'clock or 5:30 for a 6 o'clock show. I'm there at 1 o'clock.
Right.
I'm there at 1 o'clock and I'm crunching numbers. I'm putting data. I'm telling them, I think we should explain this that happened last night, and let's talk about what could happen in the game if this matchup is the big matchup in the game, and trying to figure out the best way to put a show together to have the viewer going during the game. I can't wait to see if he's right, and if he is right or if he's wrong, what happens in the post-game show, to stay and watch. After watching 3 hours of baseball, I still want to watch the post-game show. And we did that. And we did that for 5 years. And my last 2 years, our show won Emmys, back-to-back years. So here I am winning back-to-back Emmys, and I get called in the office. It was a 1-year contract every year, and I get called in the office, and they said, this was your best year by far, but we want to go a different direction. And I said, what direction are you trying to go in? You know,
South.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what is it that I'm not doing, because you just said it was my best year. We got recognized as a show for 2 Emmys. And I feel like I'm bringing my game is at a level, an all-time high. You know, the stuff about Matt Harvey and talking about, listen, not a lot of analysts have dealt with failure. A lot of the analysts you're listening to have been superstars. They know about success. They know about all-star games. They know about championships. I can tell you about failures. I can tell you about getting booed off the mound and sent to AAA and getting released. I can tell you about all that. So when Matt Harvey went through his struggles, I'll never forget. I said, I can finally relate to Matt Harvey. And the host, Gary Apple, was like, what do you mean? I said, I never threw 98. I never drove a Maserati. And I never had a model girlfriend, a top model girlfriend. But I have been beaten off the mound and had to go back out there and got booed. And you got to figure out how to get your mojo back. And he could never do that. I equated that to when Mike Tyson got knocked down by Buster Douglas, he was never the same. Not just in the ring, but outside the ring. Right? He was never the same. Outside the ring, he started having all the troubles with everything else. The law,
mentally.
Mentally. Because you're used to being on top. You don't know how to deal with failure. Once that hits, when you get knocked down, how do you get yourself back up? And I'm thankful for the life experiences that I had. I'm thankful for the times that I got released. I'm thankful for the times that I got traded. I'm thankful for it because I had that in my repertoire to speak of whenever it happened. And it made it for reality television for me. Because I know if Matt Harvey's name was Nelson Figueroa, we wouldn't have seen that much of Matt Harvey. But because Matt Harvey got $2 million to sign, we saw a lot more Matt Harvey than it should have been. So as an analyst, and I'll give you the short version. I keep talking about how proud I am of the accomplishments, and this is one of them, because those 2 Emmys are now bookends at my house.
Wow.
I wasn't supposed to have an Emmy. Why would I have an Emmy? I want to be a ball player. I get a chance to be an analyst, and I'm an award-winning analyst now. So that is where you keep whatever they throw in front of you, you want to be the best at it. And that's where I'm at right now, currently in my career, thinking if I get another opportunity, and I feel that not only that there should be, but there will be. COVID hit at a terrible time. The whole industry got turned upside down. So I'm looking for another opportunity. I'm looking for a chance to go out there and use my knowledge and use my experiences to help explain the game of baseball from to a 6-year-old or a 60-year-old, to someone who's been a former player, or to a female who maybe has watched her 3rd game and wants to know more about baseball. I want to be able to speak to every single type of fan, and the ones that know baseball can sit back and say, you know what, I didn't think about it that way. I learned something today. That to me is where I felt like I was at in my career, and I'm still at currently. I do the podcast with Jake Brown. It's with the New York Post. It's called Amazing But True. And we've had 33 or 34 episodes now, and we've done a tremendous job. Guest list like none other. We had Piazza, David Wright, Don Gooden, David Cohn. We had star-studded, John Franco, everybody. And still, we had great baseball content in there. Jake speaking as a fan and maybe sometimes ready to jump off the ledge. And me having to explain, okay, I understand what you're feeling, but take your feelings out of it. Look for this, and that. This is why something's happening. This is why this guy's failing right now. I look for silver linings. I like people to go out and say, yeah, he sucked, but he's very close to not sucking and continuing. I want people to understand the game of baseball is not easy, and especially at the major league level. So the fans can also give you a boost, but they knock you down. And you saw that with a Matt Harvey and the guys, and even Edwin Diaz. When Edwin Diaz last year, 2 years ago, every time he went to the mound after giving up all those saves, they booed him every time. He wasn't the same pitcher that he was just the year before.
Wow. That's tough.
Thank you for coming, Nelson, man. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, boys. Sorry about all the technical difficulties.
No. Listen, it's all good. Figs, man, just understand, as we tell everybody that we have on the show, you're a part of the family. If there's anything that you're doing, want to promote, special events, fundraisers, whatever it is, all you got to do is reach out. We'll get you on the show, whether it be 5 minutes or 25 minutes. We're here for you, brother. You're part of the set family. So.
Happy New Year, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you guys. I appreciate this opportunity. And again, I'd love to come on again and talk more about not just baseball, but about life.
Facts.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Be good.
Take care.
You
Both 300.
you
feel
good? Nope. Dude, I didn't want to jump in while he's speaking and pull dude into the room. And I was telling him, like, I threw the ticker to be like, I didn't want to stop it. I don't want to just be like, hey, guys, stop everything that you're doing.
Well, I mean, we went over the time, so you should have just told him, we got to do what we got to do.
But I was reaching out on the other side and telling our mutual friend, yo, tell dude not to boat.
Because just tell him please to come, right now. Like, we're good.
No, I know, but I'm hitting him up. I'm getting no response. Maybe reach out on your side.
Dang. All right, put me in the cut.
All right. People, listen, I don't want anybody to go anywhere. We were going to hit you with a surprise. So if you want to know what the surprise is, this is who we had in the green room. This is who we had in the green room as a surprise. We were going to bring Mr. Lopez Sr. to speak about his journey. This was a whole behind the scenes action that went on, and we were gonna bring him on. I don't know if everybody's been following. I don't know if you guys are boxing fans at all, but Teofimo Lopez, just beat fire out of Lomachenko. Somebody I thought it was too soon for him to take on. I did. I watched that fight. Teofimo put on a fucking clinic, and he did what I thought was too something that he was not ready for. Not to say that he's not strong or is not talented or not a great boxer. I just thought it was too soon for him. Right? But he did it. And he did it in amazing fashion, to say the least. I would say that was an 8-4 decision for Teofimo. I would say it was a 9-3 decision for Teofimo. But he did it. And he didn't only do it, but he kind of made it look easy. If you know Lomachenko, you know, I called him the Matrix. His footwork, head movement, defense was unlike anybody else's. And I care to say, I would dare say rival that of Mayweather, because his foot movement would get him in close to strike you with 2 and 3 punch combinations and would keep him away from you. And he would be able to weave and, you know, move out of the way of punches that he already saw coming. So when he took that fight, I was like, wow, I don't know, man. I think this is a little too soon. But the point I'm trying to make is, you know, we were trying to get this done on the low to surprise everybody. And yeah. So am I getting the thumbs up? Yeah, he's giving me the middle finger. Yeah, man. What's up?
No, I thought you had him in the cut. You didn't have him?
He was in the room.
He said he's having a problem logging on.
He's having a problem logging on?
Yeah, I just told him.
People, if you stand by, you need me to help in this situation, or
try?
The broadcast is still going, so it's
yeah. I told him, I said we're gonna hold on, we're gonna hang on and see
who Zep. Okay. So people, if you're listening, we're trying to bring our neighborhood's newest legend, the trainer, the father, Mr. Teofimo Lopez.
Trainer of the year.
Yeah, and being voted trainer of the year, actually. So if you guys sit tight, we're gonna get. He was in the room, and I didn't want to interrupt the interview. I thought it would be kind of rude to be like, "Oh, hey," you know. But anyway, I should have just did it. If you guys
overlap with the technical stuff, so
yeah.
He wanted to go ball anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, there he goes.
My man.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
what's going on, fellas? I was on, but you guys were too busy.
No,
sorry about that.
I saw you. Yeah, I saw you, but I didn't want to interrupt it, which I should have just said, you know what?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a chance, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming back.
I was just busy doing something. That's why I came on.
Thank you.
So, where do we start? Listen, I don't know how much time you have, so we're gonna try to get everything in real quick with you. How does it feel to start from where you started and reach this point with your son?
I mean, it's different when you know it, you know, than when it happens. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, it's to us, it's just like, it's like we knew this was gonna happen. You know, we knew the outcome with my son, and this is gonna happen all the time. You know, as long as he stays focused, you know, there's nobody could beat him. You know, but we do appreciate everything that's happening. You know, we just think that you know, he deserves everything that's been given to him. You know, we got the biggest award, which is Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year and Fight of the Year. I'm happy with that.
Absolutely.
You know, they also nominated us for the Boxing Writers Association, you know, for best fighter and best trainer. So we might get that too.
Wow.
So, you know, those are the two big ones, you know, and I'm so happy, man. That was an amazing performance by my son.
Well deserved. And I want to thank you, because Christmas came early for us, betting on your son. We followed the blueprint.
I was telling everybody to bet their house on that fight.
Yeah, man. You definitely were calling it for the longest. And were you a boxer growing up yourself?
No, I tried boxing, but I was a street fighter. I was in the streets. I used to live in Park Slope, Sunset,
Yeah.
Bay Ridge. That's where you guys are from, right?
Yes.
61st Street, 4th and 5th.
Where were you on? Where?
61st between 4th and 5th.
Shit, that's where we used to live.
Bro, we family. Rob Roach, Steppy, those are our boys.
Oh, okay.
Manny.
Yeah. That's why we reached out. I did a write-up and everything. Trust me.
I did a lot of bad things in that corner.
Yeah.
61st and 4th.
I'm glad you said it because we were going to, but I said, you know what? A repetar, we're not going to bring nothing
Growing up in the neighborhoods with the gang, it was very gang related, right? Back then.
Oh, yeah, they had the
dirty ones.
What was it? The dirty
ones.
Yeah, they had a lot of gangs out there, with the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans. And, but I was never affiliated with none of the gangs. I just knew them,
Right.
they lived in my neighborhood. So, I had to hang with them, but I was never involved with none of them. I was always on my own, doing my own thing, working the corners like always, like everybody did around that area,
Yeah, of course.
And but it was tough, and thank God, I made it out of there, and look where we at now.
Absolutely. Not everyone
already had a vision for me, man.
Absolutely. Not everyone has, they get that, but some are smart enough to get out. And you've done a hell of a job with your son. I mean, he's, he was elite in that Lomachenko. He was world class. I mean, I think he saw.
Yeah, but you haven't seen nothing yet.
Yeah,
I think he could have done way better in that fight. I think he just tried to relax a little bit more after the 8th round. He knew he had the fight won. But you can't win a round, and that's why I try to tell people they try to be biased because they don't like my son because of me. Because of my big mouth, but I mean, I'm from Brooklyn, that's just the way we talk. Like we believe in ourselves, and I believe in myself. And I don't mean nothing by it. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I just think my son is unbeatable. I don't think my son could be beaten right now, at this moment, he's on top of the world. And, especially with this fight with Loma, I think he got way better. Because we fighting the better competition, we're gonna get better. These guys in the 135 weight division hasn't fought nobody, and they keep up fighting nobodies. Why? Because they're scared. They're scared to lose that O, and we're not scared to lose no O. You got to take risks if you want to accomplish things in this world. You got to take risk. I knew it was a little going into this fight. I really didn't think it was a risk, because I knew that we trained really good for this fight. I knew my son had a good head and shoulders going into this fight. I was very confident. After the 8th round, I told him, yo, you carrying this dude. This dude don't want to fight. You got to take him out. He's going to start fighting dirty. He's already started, he already hit you in your right eye. He already headbutted you. And he's going to keep on doing that. You're going to get cut. You need to take this guy out. But he decided to box, so I said, okay, whatever, but if you look at the 8th, 9th, I mean, it was really the 9th, 10th, and 11th round. Loma, you can't win a round by doing 10 seconds of something good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then my son dominated the rest of the round with 2 minutes and 50 seconds. But what I didn't like was that they were only showing highlights of my son, of Loma. It started on the 8th round, 9th, 10th, 11th, when they started seeing Loma coming back, in those little moments, because there were little small moments.
Right.
And it's not like he did it like back, he did 5 seconds here and then 5 seconds here in the round. He only did it once, for like 5 seconds or 7 seconds. And then that's it. You can't win a round like that.
No.
My son finished strong at the end of the round 8, 9, 10. I gave Loma the 11th round because I thought my son took off that round, and I'll give it to him. I think he did definitely win that round. And that's when I told my son, I screamed at him in the corner. I said, what the hell you doing, bro? They could rob us. And I told him, let go of the tank. Because what happens with my son, he doesn't give you everything he's got. He holds like 20% of what he could give you in case there's an emergency. You know what I'm saying? So he always holds. So I was trying to convince him to let it go, but he didn't want to let it go. So he just wanted to make sure he was going to get the win. Yeah. So I convinced him in the 12. He thought he was going into the 10th. Believe that? He actually thought he was going in the 10th round. And I told him, no, bro, this is the last round. You gotta let go of that gas. You gotta give it all, bro. Give me everything right now, because this is the last round. And that's why he came out strong like a monster. He looked like he was fresh, like he had just came out to fight.
Yeah, I felt like watching that fight. I felt like halfway through the 11th, towards the end of the 11th, and in the 12th round, he beat. Like,
no, he blew him away. Blew him away. Yeah, I had him winning every round, just like I forgot the lady's name. What's her name? The judge that they were going crazy on her.
Yeah,
I understand what she had at 190, 109 because she's looking at what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Who's busy? Who's the busier fighter? And you could sit down and watch that fight again, and I guarantee you count it because I counted it. The longest he stood, I don't know, it was the 9th round or the 10th. It was one of those 2 rounds that he did like maybe 10 seconds of some good work. He was tapping my son because he wasn't like really hitting him hard. He was just tapping. My son was coming off. He was coming off the punch. I got no excuses. To me, my son let him do that. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to take off. He does that in sparring. And that's one thing, that's one habit that I hate about him. And I'm going to take care of that. That's why these fights are really good and important, because you can see, because we're not going to be perfect. We make mistakes too. So I got to fix those mistakes. And he knows it too. He told me, Dad, you're right, man. Damn, you know me, because I know him. He's my fighter. So, I've been with him for all my life. So I told him, listen, from now on, you can't take off, bro. You can't, because, everybody got their eyes on you. And I knew it. I knew if Loma did good for maybe 1 or 2 rounds, they were going to bash my son. I knew it, bro. People forget who the fuck we fought. You know what I'm saying? People think that we fought a bum, and they're calling Lomachenko an overrated fighter now, only because my son beat him.
The Japanese guy that just won, that you guys fought,
the same thing, the same shit, and that's what I said. Oh, you guys gonna put that shit on me like with Nakatani? They bashed us for a year and 7 months, bro, with Nakatani, almost 2 years, bashing us with Nakatani. And I told everybody, Nakatani will beat anybody at 135. Because I know what he got. That guy's ruthless. He just keeps on coming.
Yeah,
my son beat him in every round.
The interesting thing about the fight is this. Me, as a fan of the sport and watching Teofimo come up, to me, I thought it was, and listening to you guys, especially you, it's like you knew exactly what was going to happen. Now, watching the fight, Teofimo made Lomachenko look like nothing, like absolutely nothing, for at least 8 to 10 rounds. And Lomachenko almost to us watching the fight. He didn't want to let go of it until the last 2, 3 rounds. And people that were against Teofimo were telling me, "Oh, Loma got robbed." And I'm like, "Yeah, like they robbed people in Brooklyn. They beat the shit out of him and took his belts. That's how he got robbed." So,
bro, look, those are people, casuals. People don't know. Bro, when people say something like that, but just hang up the phone or just take them off, because it's not good for your channel, bro. You need to get fucking people that know boxing in your channel. As soon as they say some bullshit like that, bro, just take them off, because all the judges had him winning at least 7 rounds or more. I don't know what the scorecards were. I just remember the lady. I think there was a 111. What was it? Was it 111? Really, they were like 9 and up. I mean, they had him winning almost every round. The judges know what they're looking at. The thing that I hated the most was that every time after the 8th round, 9th, 10th, 11th, you could see the bogus right there because they were just showing the highlights of the little good things that Loma did to make it look like Loma was winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean that he was winning those rounds. And they're biased, you know. And I sat down. You could sit down and count the seconds Loma hit my son. Then my son kept hitting him like for 2 minutes and a half. You know.
That's what happened. And there
But
was,
you know, I don't really care, bro. That's the past, bro. You know, we already got what we got. You know, nobody is more entertaining my son at this moment. Nobody. You know, they tried. They tried. All these little kids tried, bro. All these young guys that are coming in, they tried so hard. They had a guy with a pillow. They had another guy with a, they would, they had they had freaking this other guy Tank coming in with freaking what you call it, with Thriller. I mean, they look retarded, bro. You know what I'm saying? But because everybody wanted to do what my son was doing.
Yeah.
Entertaining the crowd. You know.
What's the next move?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm happy for that because, you know, we push people to do different things in boxing. You know, boxing needs entertainment, and my son is bringing it. You know, my son is an entertaining fighter. He comes to fight.
I don't see guys lining up to fight him, though. Guys ain't gonna line up to fight him.
Ain't nobody want to fight my son, bro. That's bullshit, man. You know? And I'm telling you, bro, and we're gonna call these dudes out because if the Cambosos fight doesn't fall through, I'm gonna get my son to beat one of these dudes, man, and they better be ready. You know,
you think they're gonna want to fight him though at his weight?
Listen to me. We fought back-to-back almost 5 great fighters. I mean, not great fighters, but we build ourselves up. You know, these guys haven't fought out of the 5 last fights that we fought. These guys have not one guy that's fought like you know, we have Diego Magdaleno. When Diego Magdaleno only had 2 losses to 2 world champions. That's all he had out of 33 fights, something like that. You know, that's when that's when Magdaleno was still good. You know, and we beat him in a beautiful performance, right? Who the hell jumps and hits somebody with 2 left hooks like that, man? Like so precise. I mean, people are not watching you see. They try not to see what's happening. They just can't believe what's happening, so they're gonna dog us. You know, he puts an act, bro. In every fight that he does, he looks beautiful doing it. You know, and that's what boxing needs, man. You know, and none of these cats at 135 is doing that. You know, and they're not gonna do it. At the end of the day, my son is gonna be the only one left.
Does he? Let me ask you a question. Does Teofimo recognize what's going on in the fight game when it comes to him and the people that are talking like they want to fight and those that really want to fight?
My son knows they don't want to fight him. And he said it in a press conference right after the Lomachenko fight. You know, none of these guys want to fight me. You know, and if they do get in the ring, they better be ready because I'm coming to fight. You know, he ain't scared of nobody, bro. I never seen nothing like this in my life. That kid is not scared of nothing in that ring. He loves it. He loves to beat the shit out of you. You know, and he was dying to beat the shit out of Loma. You know, and that's exactly what we did. If it wasn't for that referee stopping the fight, he would have knocked him out.
I have to tell you that you and Teofimo promoted the shit out of that fight. I thought that was not only smart, but amazing to step out the way that you did, calling him out. Because again, as a fight fan, I respect Teofimo, his power, his skill. I just thought it was too soon. I didn't think he was going to get knocked out, but I just thought it was too soon for him. And every time I heard you talk or him talk, I was like, wow, are these guys are they just trying to fight or they really know?
Fights could be made.
Right.
The fighters don't want to fight. That's the problem. You understand? I could say I want to fight. Let's say I could say I want to fight Terrence Crawford. Just an example. I could say I want to fight Terrence Crawford. Let's go. I want to fight you. You know, I want to fight you. I could say that every day, right? But the thing is, you got to prove to yourself you want to fight that man. And how you do it? You do whatever that man tells you to do. You know, we went and got a fucking belt. We went and got what he wanted. He couldn't back up. He couldn't back down. He was dying for Comey to beat us. That's what he wanted. He even went to his freaking locker. He went to his locker room the day of the fight. He was sitting right up front. He saw him get knocked out right in front of his face. We knocked Comey right in front of his face. Bro, that boy was shook. When he said, "Welcome to my club," that meant to me, and I knew it because I could feel it. He meant, damn, fuck, I gotta fight this kid. You know, that's what I saw him say. You know, and I knew it. He didn't want this fight. He didn't want it. And you know why? Because everything I said, I did. When I grabbed him in the hotel and I went up to him and I said, you know, I went up to him and I said, "Look, listen, man, not only are we gonna steal the show, we're gonna come after your ass and we're gonna beat you down. We're gonna take your head off." And I told him that. And what we did, we knocked out Mason Menard, stole the show, and we stole the show with Linares too when he fought Linares. You know, I think that's when we knocked out no, not Magdaleno. Magdaleno was in Texas. Who did we knock out with when we fought when Loma fought Linares? Forgot.
You can hear the music now.
I think it might have been William Silva. But anyway, so and we stole the show there too. You know, there's one thing I tell you that these fighters, these divas, you know, Loma was a diva outside, but the guy could fight.
Yeah.
And I see him beating everybody right now at 135 and 130. You know, and there's a lot of clowns out there saying that they will beat my son worse. I mean, will beat Loma worse than my son did. You out of your mind. They're not even gonna let these guys fight Loma, bro. I guarantee you, Loma is not gonna fight these guys. And if they fight, it's gonna be somebody that's not in top rank.
Well, Loma said he waited till like the 7th, and there was a reason. Teo hurt him.
How come nobody fought him before?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Nobody was kind enough to fight that dude. Nobody.
I got three guys that these guys could fight. 3 guys. You know, Comey, Nakatani, and Loma. Fight one of those guys. And then I can give you a little bit of props. You know what I'm saying? Luke Campbell has like what, 4 or 5 losses? He hasn't looked good. You know, and Luke Campbell could beat this guy. I'm putting my money on Luke Campbell on Saturday. $500. Because this kid Ryan, he cannot fight, bro. That kid cannot fight. You know, he likes to knock out dwarfs. That's what he likes to knock out. Dwarfs. You know, guys are like smaller than him. So when they jump in, he just throws that left hook. He ain't gonna do that shit to Luke Campbell. You know, and if he does, props to him. But I doubt it. You know, we don't want Ryan to lose.
Right.
I want Ryan to win. Right? But I want to make my money, so I'm betting on Luke.
So I know with COVID, it's made everything difficult right now. You know, what kind of mind state and physically, how's Teofimo holding up in this environment? Is he still training? Is he still in a good place? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, he always goes to the gym. You know, he's happy, man. He calls me all the time. He tells me, "Dad, I can't believe, man, this." He was really happy because they named me trainer of the year, so he was really happy because of that.
That's awesome. You deserve it.
So he got really happy with that. The dynamic duo, bro, all the time. The dynamic duo. And 2021 is gonna be way better, bro.
Oof.
I mean, we're gonna blow out the 140. We're gonna unify the 142. You know, I hope these guys don't run from us because we want to get Josh Taylor.
Okay, Josh
or Ramirez. We want either one of those guys. You know, because we don't want to get no vacant belt, man. We don't want to get no vacant unification. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to fight one of those 2 guys. I want my son to fight one of those 2 guys, and we're gonna beat them. You know, my training expertise, bro. It's not that I'm saying I'm better than anybody else, but we're doing a good job. We're doing a great job.
See, that's the thing. People don't understand that, you know, from your background, how you've made it into the fight game, and they see the talent that you've put in front of the world, basically. You know, your son is a tremendous talent. And I watched his earlier fights because, again, my friend Zeppi, Roach, they were all, yo, my cousin's gonna fight. And I'm like, who's this kid? And man, I think his first fight was the first one that I saw. But just seeing him knock people out, I was just like, oh shit, this is the really backflip. Yeah. And then the backflip, and, you know, everything he does. You know, and then to find out that his father was training him, I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. This is a great story.
Yeah, he comes with all the, that's him. You know, he does all that, you know, and he enjoys it because, you know, I taught him since he was like since he was like 6 years old. I told him, actually when he started fighting, which was 8 years old, because they don't let you fight until you're 8. And I used to see the crowd and I used to tell him, yo, listen, everybody loves you. You got to entertain the crowd. And he's always been an entertainer since he's been a little kid. I said, when people are not looking at their phones, when people are just looking at you, that's entertainment. That means you caught the eye of the audience, you're going to make it. And that's what we've been doing. But people keep on hating on us because everything I've been saying has been happening. You know, they didn't want Lomachenko to lose. Nobody even went to the press conference, bro, to congratulate my son.
Really?
Nobody. Bob didn't even congratulate him. You know, you remember when before the announced the winner, and I started screaming at everybody, and I said I'm the best trainer in the world, and I don't want to hear about Lomachenko, Papachenko ever again. I was saying that to all of them. ESPN top rank. You know, and guess what? When I turned around, they told me that Bob stuck the finger at me. You know, I love that shit. I love that shit. You know why? That means I'm doing something right.
That's right. That's right.
You know, when they stop talking about me, then, you know, that's what I got to worry. But when they talk about me, bro, I get happy. And I get happy when they talk bad about me. That makes me even happier, bro.
Motivates you.
Because I know I got them, you know?
Yeah.
I got them in deep. I don't like to make fun of people, but when you're messing with me and my son, you know, we're going to war.
That's natural.
And my son ain't playing. That kid's a killer. He's a killer. He has no feelings when he goes inside that ring. You know, he has no feelings, and he's determined. You know, remember when Mike Tyson used to say that he was scared of death before jumping into the ring? I asked him that question. I said, do you feel the same way? He goes, Dad, I'm dying to go in there and put up a show. You know, I love it. That's my, you know, my thrill. And I said, you don't get scared, bro? And he goes, no. I enjoy it. And I know all these guys do. I fought, bro, and I used to shit on my ass before I went into the ring. I know how that shit is. You know what I'm saying? And for this kid to be like that, that's what makes him so special. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't scared to throw what he wants, you know? Like he tells me, Dad, I go for that fucking kid. I go for the liver because I know I'm going to catch it.
Yeah.
Even if I get hit, Papi, I know I'm going to get that shit. You know? I think what worked a lot in the fight, the most important thing is that we took that shit that he does to the side. And that was very important for me. I worked on it for months. I mean, for the 2 months that we was at camp, that was the most that we did a lot of drills on that. You know, I had somebody that imitated Lomachenko, and we, you know, we worked on that. And we executed the plan, and that's what makes a great trainer. When you see the execution, when you see what we stopped the other fighter from doing. Oh, how come Lomachenko ain't doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, because Teofimo Lopez Sr. took it away from him.
You can see it every time he tried to spin.
He's the one that tells the fighter what to do.
He tried to do a spin.
We got to get that shit off him. And we took it away from him, bro. And that guy was like, he didn't know what to do, bro.
Deer in the headlights.
Because every time he would step to that side, he would get popped.
That was,
you know, I told my son, just pop him. Every time he steps there, pop him. You know, but I don't want to say the secret because I know Loma's gonna beat all these guys. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop him.
Right.
Nobody, because they're not gonna have a trainer like me. You know, I stopped that shit because I knew what to do. I'm not gonna say how I did it, but people saw that. And you gotta be polished to do shit like that.
Senior, can I interrupt you for a second and ask you a question? No. That's why we want you on here, because we know that when you're from and two, we like that. We like the fact that you talk the way that you do. But I'm curious because I'm getting questions from the audience too. They're saying, "Are you okay?" Because it looks like you're in the hospital. Is everything all right?
With what?
It looks like you're in the hospital.
Oh no! I had an elbow injury.
Okay.
But, yeah, they're gonna let me out right now. I'm getting ready.
Oh, okay. Everybody in the audience was like, "Hey, is he all right?" He looks like he's in the hospital.
Nah, I'm good. I didn't even notice that in the back, but yeah. I got admitted yesterday because I had like a liquid in my. I fell down, and those I don't know what they call it, the little scooters.
Yeah.
I'm really good at it, but I hit a rock and I fell and I landed on my elbow.
Was it yesterday?
The next day I woke up, bro. I felt like they were stabbing me, man, and I ran to the hospital, bro. I came here yesterday. They admitted me and they took the liquid out. Now they were checking to see if I had any infection or anything like that, but they're gonna let me go. So, but I'm good.
Nice. We're glad to hear that.
We're looking forward to seeing you fighting. Coming to Brooklyn, Barclays or the Garden, and, all of us in there representing for you guys, man.
Oh no, listen. Madison Square Garden loves us, bro. They send us a bottle of champagne, congratulating us. They love us over there, man. And 6 fights, 6 knockouts. It's crazy. I don't think anybody has done that in the Madison Square Garden. I might be wrong, but 6 fights, 6 knockouts is a lot of fights in the Madison Square Garden. People just dream to fight there once. We've done it 6 times.
And this fight was scheduled for the Garden, right? Before the COVID, the Loma fight.
The Loma fight? No, the Loma fight was here in Vegas.
No, but it was scheduled originally for Barclays or the Garden.
It was going to be in New York.
Yeah.
That shit would have got packed, bro.
If we didn't have COVID and he came, especially on the heels of the Loma fight, and let's say he fought, a big, Davis, a big name, man, that place is fucking fire, bro.
We're gonna do it, though. We got 10 more years of this.
Yeah.
At least 10 years of this. We're gonna be doing big mega fights in New York. Big. Because he's a big name now. Yeah. We're the cash cows now.
You're the gate
in boxing. He's the cash cow in boxing. There's no doubt about it. All that bullshit about Floyd with the A side, the fuck out of here. That boy hasn't done shit. He hasn't done nothing. He hasn't beaten nobody, bro. A side. When you say that, and then you say, "Oh, we're gonna take another fight, and then we'll fight Teofimo, but we're gonna be the A side." Get the fuck out of here with that. We leaving the 135.
Yeah.
How the hell you gonna freaking say, "Yo, if you want my son, you gotta get him now"?
Yeah. But they know
negotiations. A side. The last time I checked, that boy don't even have a real world title at 135.
That's why I like this guy. He don't give a fuck.
Bro, but he does
fuck
it.
Everybody.
That boy hasn't fought nobody. He fought a beat up fucking Gamboa. Get the fuck out of here,
terrible.
Bro. I saw what I got do that in 1 round or 2.
I thought that was a terrible fight for him because Gamboa at his peak was still, somebody respectable. He had good hands, whatever. But now to fight him now,
and he tore his Achilles in the fight, didn't he? And he finished the fight.
Just watch and see all the guys that these guys are gonna fight, bro. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh because they're gonna fight bums again. They don't got nobody in their resume, bro. I mean, myself fought 3 top dudes back to back. Bro, Nakatani, Comey, forgot about Comey, forgot about Loma. Nakatani will run through all those guys.
Did
You
he?
know,
This week, last week, right? He fought Nakatani. Somebody Nakatani just gave who was it?
Verdejo.
I thought Verdejo was a strong fighter. Like, he's been respectable. The guy's been putting in work. And Nakatani, he got put down, came back, and won the fight. Like,
there's no. The only person that could beat Nakatani right now is my son. That Chinese dude is no joke, and he was lost goods because my son messed him up. He was in the hospital for almost 2 years because my son gave he hurt him. I don't know what he did to him, but he was like in the hospital. He retired from boxing. The guy retired from boxing, bro, and came back and fought a hard fight his first time coming back. That's why he got dropped, because he was nervous. He didn't know how it's gonna be to get hit in the head, so he was being a little bit careful. But then he said, fuck that, and he went after him, and that's why he said at the end of the fight, he says, from now on, I'm going for the knockout.
Wow.
I feel bad for whoever fights that dude. I really do.
Yeah,
and there's not gonna be none of those guys. None of those guys. He'll probably fight Fortuna, for all I know.
Yeah.
Fortuna will probably fight Nakatani, but that's a big risk right there. Fight Nakatani. Show us something. Just like Lomachenko told us, show me something, and I'll fight you.
To be honest,
so why can't it be different with us?
To be honest with you, I would read, for me personally, I don't know how everybody else feels. I would love to see Teofimo fight Tank.
We are going to fight him. But the way
does he want it?
Floyd is going with him, he's going to do the same thing he did with Loma with us. Same shit. Well, I know Floyd, and Floyd knows who we are. He knows my son is the real deal. He's not going to put him there with my son. Never. It's not going to happen. And that guy's a midget. That guy's not going to make 140, 147. They'll kill him up there.
Let's say he does. And you guys...
We'll fight him at 140.
You'll fight him at 140?
Of course. Why not?
I want to see that.
He won't do it. You see my son box the shit out of him when he was 15? And Tank was 18?
Wait, they fought? Were they sparring partners?
Yeah, my son sparred that dude, bro. He was only 15. That dude was 18 with six knockouts, 6 fights. He was already a pro. And my son boxed the shit out of him. He boxed the shit out of him so much that dude was like 30 pounds bigger than my son, and he was grabbing his fucking arm. Look at the video. I'll send it to you if you want.
That's right. They were sparring in Floyd's gym, right?
Nah, no? That was in Florida.
Okay.
KO boxing. We was sparring in KO boxing. My son was a baby. He was only 15. And he started freaking like, and we sparred 4 rounds. 4 rounds. That last round when Tank comes and he hits him with a left hook, and then the bell rings. That's the only thing he did to him. But out of those 4 rounds, my son was boxing and moving and tagging him. And they got the audacity, bro, to say that my son was getting his ass kicked. That's how blind these motherfuckers are. Like, even if they see you getting beat up, they'll say that he's not. That the other guy's getting beat up. Yeah. Bro, you got to see that video, bro. It's funny.
You gotta fake it till you make it. Like, that's what they do.
All his people are like, oh yeah, you saw that video with Tank beating up Teofimo Lopez, bro. And they got the audacity, bro, to say that Tank was beating on a little boy when he was supposed to be working with my son. And you can see the difference in age, bro. You can see how big Tank was. Tank was like maybe 160. My son was like, that guy's always big. Tank was like 160. My son was like maybe 128, 129, because my son was only 15.
Tank definitely has weight issues. He doesn't. No, conditioning.
It's all a mirage. It's all a fucking mirage. Like I told you guys, it's a mirage. They make you think this guy is whatever you think. Listen, that's why they take the smaller dudes that they know they could beat. Put him there with a killer. like my son.
The Santa Cruz fight. I thought Santa Cruz was fighting a good fight till he tried to trade with him.
Santa Cruz was beating his fucking ass for 6 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think here's what I see. I think
in that freaking corner.
Yeah. I think right now, and Senor, don't get upset, but I'm when I talk or my partner talks, I'm gonna mute your mic because it's bouncing back. What I think right now is, Teofimo has put himself in the upper echelons of boxing. I think there's a lot of people, like he said, during the Loma fight, there was an announcer. The entire fight was basically him blowing Lomachenko, right? Consistently, like, oh, he's this, he's that, he's great, and oh, he's coming on now. He was making it seem and painting the picture like to the viewers, like we weren't seeing what we were seeing. However, that being said, now we know better. Now we know that Teofimo won, and not only did he win, he won decisively. We understand that he is of a different caliber of fighter, right? So now the goal is to capitalize on that moment. And I believe the fight I want to see is Lopez and Tank, right? That would be a huge draw. Does Tank want to fight?
It is not what you think it is, because this guy is not going to fight us right now. We don't know who he's going to fight next. If he beats Nakatani, or he beats Lomachenko, or he beats Comey, then we could talk, because he's never fought nobody like those guys. Okay? That's all I'm asking for. Listen, let's make the fight. If we don't fight Gambosos, we're fighting one of those guys. If the Gambosos fight falls down, do you really think that I'm gonna let go of $7 or $10 million to go fight Devin Haney or Gervonta Davis or Ryan Garcia or whoever else is there? You think I'm gonna let go of $7 to $10 million?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? Hell no. But if they don't give us that money, then we could go and fight any one of those guys. We're the only ones fighting back-to-back champions.
Listen, man. If anybody,
it's crazy what they're asking about us. It's crazy.
I think anybody who's a fan of boxing or watches, often, you should recognize the fact that Mr. Lopez Sr. has taken his son from the very beginning to this point. And not only has he done that, but he's done that in a way that people not only recognize his son's talent, but understand that he knows his son's talent and his capabilities. And a lot of people say that when you speak in the vein or the way that he does, that you're bragging or you're being cocky or whatever the case. No, that's not the case. What it is he understands where he's at and he understands his value. So if he knows where he's at and his value, he's not going to let anybody hit him with the bullshit or the okie doke of, yeah, go ahead, go fight these, no bread, no name fighters, while the guys that are on the higher levels, they dodge his son.
And he's also at a lower weight. He should be at a higher weight. And Tio's killing himself to make that weight to fight these guys.
And that should speak a lot.
Thank you. My son has been at this weight for 7. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
My son has been at this weight for 7 years. 7 years, bro. And the only reason we stood at that weight was to get Loma. That's it.
Commitment.
And I said it. And I've been saying it for 2 years. We're only gonna stay here until we take the man. We took out the man that was the man to beat, and we beat him. And if Gervonta Davis would have done that, and if any other of these guys in the 135 weight division would have done that, you would have never stopped hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
They would have done a marathon, and they would have been running in the streets naked and waving all over the place, screaming, "We beat Loma!" You know what I'm saying, bro? They're making it seem like Loma what you call it, under that Loma was overrated. That's the way he's trying to make it seem, only because my son beat him.
That's something, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Senior. That's something that they didn't understand. They didn't understand how to beat Lomachenko, and that's why they talked about the way that he did. And now your son comes out of left field, and you telling the world, we're going to whip his ass. And they're like, yeah, right. Watch what's going to happen. And then, boom, he does it. You know? They don't know how to do it.
The thing is that we set a plan, bro, and we did it the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Because we were the underdogs, bro. We've been underdogs since the amateurs, bro. Mm-hmm. Nobody even knew who the hell we were, because they screwed the shit out of us in the amateurs when we won everything. We won the Golden Glove Nationals that none of these guys have won. Mm. You know, we won the Olympic qualifiers and we won the Olympic trials. Okay, and the only one that's done that was Shakur Stevenson. Nobody else. Mm. But Shakur didn't win Golden Glove Nationals because you're facing all the men in the United States. That's the hardest one to win. But the most important one to win is the Olympic trials, and that's what we won. We beat everybody. We even sent everybody to the losing bracket and waited for them to come back and beat them again, you know, in the Olympic trials. So my son was supposed to represent the United States in the Olympics, and they screwed us.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? That's why we nobody knew who he was. So you know what I told my son? We beat the silver medalists from the Olympics, and they robbed us the first day with the French dude. Go look at that fight. We beat them. They robbed us because AIBA was against us. Amateur boxing was against us. They didn't like us because we decided to go and fight for my country. Okay? And I told them to go screw themselves because they wanted us to be like the second runner-ups, you know? I said, no, my son ain't no second to nobody, bro. So I went and I fought for Honduras. We went to the first time Honduras ever been to the Olympics qualifying. We went to the Continentals up in Argentina. We won there and we qualified. You know, that's historical for Honduras because nobody's ever, you know, qualified. You know, they have gone to Honduras because of free passes, you know, but nobody has ever qualified from Honduras. So we qualified. That's why, you know, me and my wife are from Honduras. He fought for Honduras, so he has the right to represent Honduras, you know. So, because he represented them in the Olympics. So they can't take that from him. So then he becomes when we beat Comey, he becomes the first world champion. This is huge of Honduras ever. Because in Honduras, in my country, nobody has ever won anything. Anything big like that. You know what I'm saying? So they consider my son to be like a hero right now. Of course. And this is just the beginning. You know, this kid could even probably be president of Honduras one day, you know. I don't know about that. But,
you never know. You never know.
But because he has his passport, he has, you know, he couldn't represent Honduras in the Olympics unless he was hizo la naturalización ahí.
Yeah.
So he became a citizen of Honduras, and that's how he was able to go to the Olympics. And we got lucky, bro, because that takes about 9 months for you to do all that paperwork. But thank God we met somebody very important down there, and they got us everything within 2 days. You know, so we got lucky, and that's how we got to the Olympics. Everything is done by God, bro. God has been doing all this for us. You know, everything that's happening to us is because we haven't gotten it the easy way, like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? We have fought to get where we got into. They never wanted us to be big and top rank. They already had their chosen ones. They just couldn't make it. We just blew them away. You know what I'm saying? That's why we on top. And we're going to keep up going on top. You know what I'm saying? As long as God keeps me healthy and my son healthy, we're going to be all the way. We're going to go all the way to the top. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going to stop us.
Listen, well, I want to say something before we move on. If you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my compadre, Celi Sazon, and this is the set. And right now we're speaking to the incomparable, the braggadocious, the flamboyant, ROG, the big papa over here, Teofimo Lopez Sr. And He hails from our neighborhood, Sunset Park. I just want to say that people have different paths in life. And the most important thing that you could have in your life is both your parents or one of your parents there with you through that journey. What's so special to me about this is that not only is this kid and his father from my neighborhood, they literally from our part of town, but to see a father and son accomplish so much in a sport, whether it be baseball, basketball, but boxing specifically has a different sort of feel. It makes a great story, one. And two, you can see that this guy is not going to let anything or anyone come in between the success that he is lining his son up for, matched by his son's commitment and discipline to the sport. Man, I think everybody better watch out, because if Mr. Lopez Sr. and his son continue the way that they do, they can be the next legend of the sport. Huge.
Yeah. The thing is that we already passed a certain path in our lives that that we already took care of that. Now we got to look at something else. For 2 years I've been fighting for this. I accomplished it. We took over. So the takeover is over. We took over, and now we just gotta maintain that. We gotta maintain that. It's easy to get there. It's harder to maintain it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna do. Me and my son are together again. We love each other, and we have so many plans. Man, you don't even know. This kid is so motivated. He loves this. This is just making him more like, he's gonna go into the ring to fight these guys. More
hunger.
Not only he always has that hunger. He always has that hunger. I don't care about the hunger.
We got bumped.
Might have.
Let's leave him there. Oh, he probably answered the phone.
Hello.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Hello.
Right.
Oh my God! I didn't even hang up the phone. Hold on. Danny, please, cuelgue. Hello.
We're good.
You there?
Yeah, we're here.
I can't hear you guys now because when you know what it is, when a call comes through, the mic goes down. I don't know why. Do you hear me now?
We hear you. We hear you.
You're very low. You're very low.
Go into your preferences. We hear you. You need to hear us.
Well, I could hear you, but barely. But anyway, what I wanted to say is, listen, we're gonna fight the biggest fights. We're gonna try, because boxing is just not like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want the fights. Right. We already proved to the world that we want the biggest fights. We are the only ones that have proved it. Right. It's time for all the other guys for the 135 and, for them to up their games, to up the games and try to get us before we leave the 135 weight division. Everybody knew the guy that I wanted was Loma. Everybody knew that. None of these guys have faced. Nobody wanted to face Loma. Everybody that said, "Oh, I want to fight him. I want to fight him," but he's scared of me. He's scared of me. That's all bullshit, bro. That's all bullshit. Because anybody could say, "I want to fight somebody," and the fight won't be made because you don't know what's going on in back doors. You don't know if this guy wants $3 million, and they say no. Like the same way that happened with my son.
Yeah.
You see how they lowballed him, and I told my son, "No, screw that. Screw the money. We're going for legacy, bro. You beat this guy, you don't got to freaking fight. That's hard anymore." You know what I'm saying? We beat the guy at 135. We move up to 140, and you do your legacy. You already fulfilled your legacy at 135. We need this guy. That's why we took the fight. Anybody else would have said no.
Well, again, Selly and Senior, you should know, nobody was running to fight Lomachenko. Nobody. So when
not even now.
Yeah, not even
now. Have you heard anybody mention Loma?
He got beat. Let's go fight him now. He's done. Nope. Nobody.
Have you heard anybody say, "I want to fight Loma next"?
Not. I mean,
the only one that I heard was Shakur, and you know that's not gonna happen because Top Rank Bob ain't gonna let him fight Loma.
No,
never.
Nah, he's definitely.
Senior, do you ever think Spence and Crawford will fight?
Say it again.
Do you think Spence and Crawford would they ever fight? Would they make that happen?
I think they will fight. You know why? Because the people want it a lot, you know, and those guys are good fighters, you know. I don't take nothing away from them. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford had paved the way for us, you know. I look up to them, but those are champions. You know, I can't talk bad about them, you know, because they have done their work. You know, all I'm asking these guys at 135, I got nothing against them. Just prove to us that you're worthy, bro. You know, why do we have to do all the hard work?
Yeah, you've already done it.
And we softening these guys for them.
Yeah,
you
know, they're gonna take our fucking leftovers. They're gonna take our leftovers. It should be easy, right?
Yeah.
So go get them. Go get Loma now.
So you were saying
take our leftovers.
He
take Comey, leftovers. Nakatani, leftovers. They don't mention not one of those guys. You know why? Because they scared. That's why. They're scared to lose that O.
Gotta go.
But anyway, I love you guys, man. Yo, say what's up to Sunset Park, bro. Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, Park Slope. You know, Bensonhurst, all that area, bro. I miss it, man. I'll be there one day, bro.
Happy New Year, Senior.
I love you guys, man. Take it easy.
Thank you so much for coming.
Take care.
You already know.
And Sazon Goya.
You got it right, baby.
All right, bro. Anytime, bro. Just let Suppy know.
Thank you, buddy.
Definitely.
You got it.
Bye. All the best.
See, this is what I'm talking about, Sel. You see what he just did right there? This is what I'm talking about.
That's love.
Came on, right? It was his phone. He had the volume.
Yeah, the feedback, because I ain't touched nothing. Everything was fine here.
No, I know. You know, I was thinking that you had like in the settings, in the cam mic settings, that you didn't have the echo of.
No, everything was fine. It's just the speed, you know, the speaker feedback. So
yeah. Dude, I was rolling because I'm like, I'm sending you fucking messages in the room, and I'm like, this guy's gonna curse me. It's fucking not me, or it's him. He got that phone call, and it made it all the better.
Yeah.
But let me make my point, and then we'll close out the show. This is what I'm talking about. This man came on here, you know, again through our people, and organically. He comes on, shows us love, right? And
from a hospital.
Yeah, from the hospital, right? Salute Breeze Shooters, Frank Coco, we see you. Nick Carabello, yo, what's up, baby? He calls her from the hospital. Like, he comes on here, talks his shit. He's being senior, does what he does, and then he's like, look, guys, I love you. I'm gonna let you go, but I love you guys. You know, calls our names out, whatever. You know what it is. Anytime. Come on. I mean, you think we could get Floyd Mayweather Sr. on this shit? No. You understand what I'm saying? The dude took time out of his life and was like, yo, I got to show my people love.
Absolutely, bro. Listen, at the end of the day, again, we're grinding. You know what I mean? You know, somebody's got to start somewhere. Somebody's always started at the bottom. You know, we're working on our craft. We're getting better. Bringing people, you know, friends of friends, whoever it is, people just showing love. You got people that don't show love. It's all good. This train don't stop, like we said from the beginning. When we don't want to do this no more, we won't do it. But right now, this is what we're doing. We're trying to bring good content and, you know, share it with you guys. And we hope y'all share it with everybody else.
For real. And like my guy says, we ain't in competition with nobody but ourselves.
Damn, we had a doubleheader tonight. We got Rob Phelps Saturday. We got Zab Sunday. Ooh, I might get a sneaky. I might get some sneaky people in there too later.
Oh man,
have more people jumping in on Rob or Zab. You never know. You gotta stay tuned, folks.
Yo, listen, I'm telling you, if you don't believe me and you still don't believe me, I don't know. Like, do you? Things are going to be changing. We're going to keep growing. And the people that's with us, understand, we're not going to change. We're going to continue showing love. We're gonna stay true to our roots. We're gonna stay bigging up the people that's still with us and supporting, right? And I have to say this right now, real quick. Salute to my brothers at Bree Shooters, because they turn in the corner, and they Sunset Park. They turn in the corner. They doing some really great things. So I want to make sure I shout them out.
They better jump on the Super Bowl party if they ain't doing nothing that day.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you say that, because I'm sending out notifications to the people, for coming on.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna be reaching out to them about that, to have both those fucking clowns on the show. Making a special appearance. So, are we good? Are we Gucci? Are we?
Let's close it out, man. We've been. This is a movie tonight.
Well, my brother.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Hit the subscribes, hit them likes. We love y'all.
Share this mother effer. We love you. We out of this motherfucker.